All right. Well, you know, we'll figure it out as we go along here. We'll go ahead and get it going. Snow, are you in here?
Dude, I wish people, as I was looking at your stream, I wish people would send me artwork where they hand drew it in a notepad, dude. I want that. I want that shit's all.
I have one of you.
Really?
Yeah. What do you mean? You get art all the time.
Yeah. What do you on about?
Amount of art. I suck at checking Twitter.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My suggestion, in all seriousness, make a channel in your Discord for it. That's where I get 99% of my art, and I have a fucking folder with over 76 renditions of Kiki from people that have submitted it through my Discord. Yeah, no shit.
I do a horrible job with my Discord. I need to get on that.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Mate.
How you going?
Hello, mate. How are you?
I was just learning how to upgrade cars at Fastlane because I've got a job here now.
Oh.
Wait, can I post something in this
his name is?
Conversation? This call?
Yeah, you can. Go for it.
Okay.
Let me get it.
I saw this in my Discord the other day.
Is this?
Amazing.
You can suck it.
So good. I'm keeping.
Oh, there's
that.
another one
man.
too. Hold on. I found a really good one of you, and actually dab.
All right, let's pull this up.
Man, I love when I get to be a receptionist.
Oh, that's the best.
I like that. That's good. There's so many talented people doing fan art. Fuck, man. All right. I don't know why Discord has gone and scuffed itself for us all, as far as being captured, but we're here anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of dab fan art.
I don't know if you saw that one.
Everywhere.
Oh my god, me scamming people trying
How do you not see these? These are so good.
I did that all the time to people where I'll just start throwing like random math numbers out there and like doing it all quick.
Welcome to my master's degree.
Yeah,
random
math, but I ain't got no degree in it. Went to community college for a year and a half like a boss. Took history of photography. I knew what I wanted to do for a living.
Fucking sick, man.
I wanted to be a Playboy photographer.
Hey, man. I'm getting a master's degree in turtle dicks, and my job is making fart jokes in GTA. So I don't exactly have a whole lot of transference.
Yeah, I think Abe is sleeping. Connor is probably asleep as well because I know they both had long days yesterday. So that's no big deal. But we can get started anyway. And Discord is also not capturing on OBS, so this is going fucking great. I'm ready for it.
Fuck it, man. They can hear, as long as they can hear us. That's all they really.
I agree.
So just before we dive into things, is it okay if I just take a second?
Yeah,
to just
absolutely.
So I just wanted to say, Chad, in case your boy Milton seems kind of down, we had to take my mother's poodle to the vet because she wasn't using one of her legs very well. So we were worried that she had actually hurt her leg. But when we got to the vet and she had some ultrasounds done, when we got out and the vet was done talking to us, he said that the results of the ultrasound had come back, and he said, your dog's fine, but don't let this distract you from the fact that with Amazon Prime you can subscribe to Ziggy today.
I can't believe this is starting.
Amazon Prime, subscribe today. Link your Amazon Prime to Twitch Prime. Subscribe to Ziggy today. Twitch.tv/Ziggy.
What else did you expect?
Wow, fuck. Jesus.
I thought we all knew each other. Just like this already.
This is Sunday morning.
This is just saying.
Sunday morning. Let's go.
I'm just saying, you guys can subscribe to him for free. Just letting you know.
Oh, man.
If my dog was alive, it would subscribe to Ziggy.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
You know what? We can't exclude the cat people too.
God.
Okay, all these cat people. Or
Oh, fuck cats.
you can do it too.
What?
Oh my! I didn't sign up for this.
Well, it was meant to be an inside thought.
Oh man, well now it's an
I
outside
agree
thought,
with that
so,
inside thought.
I mean,
Hey,
no
my
inside thought to
man.
you.
My man.
okay.
Never had a pet cat. Imagine
Yeah.
it'd be like having a bird.
What do you mean? Birds are great. What do you mean?
If you
Yeah,
have a
my
pet
bird
cat,
was
you don't
squawk.
have a pet cat.
Listen,
the cat has a pet.
No, that's why you get more
that's-
cats.
I mean-
Okay.
No.
That's
No,
how you start a
Brenda.
cat fighting ring in your basement.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm just gonna sit here.
All right. Instead of Discord being captured, I'm just gonna screenshot the Discord call and then fucking line it up and set that as a thing. All right, that works. Anyway, okay. Okay, let's get started here. So we got.
Production value.
Yeah, this is
Here we
top
go.
quality.
It's insane right now.
Dude.
Let me just
Hey,
open
it's about the
MS
quality of the guests, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
fuck.
Damn
well,
it.
if that's the
Well,
case, Jesus.
Oh, here we go.
I mean,
Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
What a group, Ziggy. What
Yeah,
did you do?
I don't know, man. What have I done? Fucking A. Okay. All right. I guess we'll get started. Milton's already kind of done an intro because he was on the podcast last week. And you know, obviously me and Snow and whatnot. But I guess we could just get started into you guys. Kyle, I mean, we've known each other for a while, but I guess you know we can get kind of more of an insight as to how you got started streaming and whatnot. Was like the first games like you started streaming, was it like RP stuff or did you start like doing
Yeah,
other shit?
Arma.
Arma, okay.
Yeah, that was the
Arma.
first thing I ever tried streaming was Arma.
Okay, all right. Well, what's like I don't know. I never played any Arma RP or just Arma in general, so I don't even know like where
I
to
loved
even
it. I was such
begin.
a shithead.
Yeah. What server did you play on? Or is like I don't
Asylum.
even- Okay. All right. Snow would know more about that than I do, so
Yeah, buddy.
yeah.
Sam was
It was a lot of fun. I was just like I got banned all the time over there though. I was such a I think I've been
I think everybody
I
got
think
banned
most
from
people-
Asylum at least once.
yeah. I'm also banned
what
from a
did
lot of
you
GTA
do?
servers.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm banned from hundreds.
What the fuck do you
Oh,
do?
yeah.
What do you
I used-
What
do?
was your
Why
stream
am I
title,
not
Kyle?
surprised?
Banned
Oh
Theft
my
Auto.
God.
That's
Yeah.
it, yeah. Banned
Yeah.
Theft
Oh
Auto.
my God.
Caesar
What
the
the
fucking monkey running around
Yeah.
RDMing people.
Yeah, I used to pretend to be a monkey and then pretend to be a cop, and I did
Yeah.
that. I love.
What?
Yeah, I used to.
Caesar.
Dude, most servers don't disable the like peds. They just kind of remove them from the thing. So I knew the name of the ped, and I would always spawn as like a whale or like a bird or like all kind of like a dog. But I mainly did like a monkey. It was fucking great. And everybody would be like, "You need to change." And then I would just be like, "I'm a celebrity. I can do whatever I want. Fuck you."
Yeah.
It was great.
Wow.
I can have
My
all the fun I
God.
want at your expense because I'm rich.
I was gonna say you're banned on like I don't know. I feel like a good
Hundreds.
more than half of like the 5M servers. To be
Yeah.
honest.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
But like, you want me to say how I like got started with streaming?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious.
All right. So like, what happened was I was like playing Arma with some friends of mine. They're like, "Oh, Kyle, you're so funny. You should stream." And I was like, not really interested. And then like I tried streaming Arma like once and like just whatever. I didn't try anything again. Then like I took a long break, and then fucking my friends were like, GTA RP is a lot of fun. I was like, okay. And then I got really into playing GTA roleplay. Like I would just pretty much play GTA roleplay all the time. And then everybody's like, "Kyle, you're hilarious. You should stream." And I was like, okay. And then I started streaming, and then like, you know, things were like slow, but I just enjoyed streaming at that point because
Yeah.
it was just fun.
Yeah.
And then, you know, things progressively changed over like a few months. And
Mhm.
then it's kind of like shifted into streaming being a full-time thing and being like my focus and playing GTA RP. And now here I am.
Yeah, here you are.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then-
National
yeah.
treasure. You were about to say it.
Sure. Right. Of course.
Yeah, I was gonna
you
say that too,
fucking
actually.
goose, yeah.
Good. It's true.
What were you said? I don't know. Like, I know you've spoke about it a little bit. What were you doing before streaming? Like, what kind of work were you into?
Played poker for a living.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Did you
yeah,
actually?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
You know, you're the second person I know who's done that. The other one is I don't know if you guys know Juji Mufu, the fitness god.
I don't know
he's the
who
dude.
that is.
He's the dude. He had a video that went viral a few years ago where he's doing the splits between 2 chairs while also doing an overhead press of like 135 pounds. And he does the full splits all the way, totally horizontal. Yeah, he's nuts. He was, anyways, I end up filming a couple YouTube videos with him and Tom Boyden last year. And so Tom Boyden's the guy who basically runs his channel and does all the editing for his videos. And that's how he got fucking started, was like professional fucking poker playing. That is so strange and cool.
I wouldn't really say I was just like a cash grinder. Like I did play like tournaments and stuff, but I just kind of I live in Maryland, and Maryland has a really good poker scene and really good casinos. Like Maryland Live, and then MGM opened up. Horseshoe was good before MGM opened up, and then like I just used to go to those casinos, man. And it's like, you know, there's like a whole bunch of tables, like 30, 40 games going on and stuff. Like it's just a real big scene, and I was just a cash game grinder. Used to play like, you know, 8 to 12 hours a day.
Oh my God, dude.
Holy
fuck
fuck.
me. That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, it was fun, but it gets to you. Like the thing is, like when you do something like play poker, like you get it's like it's not like streaming. It's like I wasn't like a sociable person when I was at the casino because I'm there, you know, I'm there for business. You know what I mean? It's strictly business. Like I'm not there to really make friends. Like I only had very few poker friends and like stuff like that, because I was just there to, you know, play.
Right.
And then every once in a while, I'd take a break from playing poker, and I just would work a job for like a few months, and then like just quit all of a sudden when I didn't feel like doing it anymore, and just go back to playing poker when I felt like I got my fill of like socializing and like being an actual person in the working world. Did that for like almost 4 years.
You sound like a character played by Brad Pitt in a movie.
Dude, I am.
So like nuts, man.
Wow. All right. Okay. All right. Well then. Yeah, we can swap over to Ashlynn here. How did you?
Okay,
I mean,
swap
I think
over my boring life.
Okay, calm down.
Okay, look. So mine's not as exciting. All right. I basically, for the longest time, I was always like, you know what my freaking dream is? I want to work in an office and I want to scale up the business ladder.
Okay, that's not the right. That wasn't the right.
Forever. I don't know why. I was just always such a weird, and I was like, I really just want to work in an office. Like I don't know why I went to school for business administration. I swear this isn't even a joke.
What you're saying is you're saying that Brenda's not our piece. Oh my God.
I knew as soon as I said this. All right, listen. I'm not kidding. Okay. So I worked in an office. I was an assistant at a social media company in San Francisco. I worked at a desk, blah, blah, blah. And I did YouTube on the side, actually. So I did YouTube for a while. I made videos there. And at one point, I just started, I felt like I overthought a lot of stuff because YouTube is like you edit for hours. You guys don't know if any of you guys ever, you know, made a YouTube video.
Right.
It's just, it can be super overwhelming because you kind of never know where to go, like what direction to take. And then you have so much opportunity to keep editing and editing, me like, this isn't good enough. I can't, I got to do better. This next one has to be better. And you're always analyzing all your content. Right. And so a lot of my friends that I made over on YouTube started talking about Twitch, and they're like, hey, you know, we can do streams on there. And I was never about this idea. I was like, people are going to watch me while I'm live? Hell no.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just never was into that idea because me as a person, I may not come off like it, but I'm really quiet. I'm super shy. I've always been like that, very introverted. And when streaming came around, I don't really know what kind of kept me going, just knowing the way that I am now, just being someone who doesn't like attention. I don't like being, you know, like being live is such a interesting mindset, right? It's like, it's so scary. And and so when I started doing it, I think I just started really liking the fact of being able to talk to people, and I don't know, maybe having friends. That was cool. And then here we are. Oh, and then I started off my stream actually with Siege. with a lot of shooters, a lot of variety gaming. I never knew what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I found RP.
Okay. All right. I mean, how did you get, like, was it just like the recent boom that kind of happened for RP that you kind of like, you know, just you saw it was gone and kind of hopped on, or?
You know what's really funny is that I actually saw just an opportunity to change something because I really wanted to change my game from being a game that made me, you know, get salty or, you know, more on a competitive side, and then move something towards something that I could laugh at.
Right.
And I was looking for that forever, for months and months and months, of just a game that I really, truly could just stay in and connect myself with and have a good time with.
Yeah.
And I was doing Siege already for maybe, I don't know, 2.5 years by then.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, I need change. And when I first got into RP, it was actually funny because I didn't know that anybody knew each other. I thought I had no idea who anybody was. I didn't know anything about RP at whatsoever. A lot of people don't know, but I've only been RPing for about 3 months now. And when I first got into it, I was like, oh, who are all these new characters? And then I found out later that all you motherfuckers have been around. And I'm like, wow, like you guys all know each other? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like it blew my mind. I thought everyone was like fresh on the server. Like everyone didn't know each other. And we're all just like learning about each other. Because NoPixel was actually the first I've actually really heard about RP, and then I pretty much got on it maybe I don't know, maybe like a month or two after like the blow up and stuff. So I just kind of assumed that everybody was like, everyone was just meeting each other for the first time, and no one had characters from other servers and everything.
Right.
I was like, oh, wait, you guys all met each other before in person too? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
was
so it was like,
majority of us have now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody has anybody other than Ziggy ever met me? Okay.
No.
All right. No, that's cool.
Were you at TwitchCon last year or not?
He was.
I hope to God I never do.
I saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
What
the fuck?
Oh shit, we're live.
Oh,
Okay,
fuck.
I take that back.
I'm okay with it.
It's fine. Yeah, no, that's fucking wild. Okay. Yeah, because no, a lot of us we've been doing this for a little bit. Milton's been doing it longer than most of us anyway, at least as far as like Grand Theft Auto stuff, because I got started. Yeah, whenever SOE whenever Lyric was streaming SOE a couple of years ago, that's when I like started to get into it and was watching it, and then eventually got onto NoPixel, and then this whole fucking recent blow up has been insane. So
yeah, I think I was just looking back the other day. I think Kiki was created on February 26th, 2017.
Ooh.
Wow.
So she's been around the block.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Yep.
Fucking A.
Oh, that's great.
All right. Well, okay. In which case, then, because I know we've talked about, how we all started on GTA and streaming and stuff like that. But I think I'll just go around here a second. I'll ask Snow first. What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't streaming, like, right now? Like, if this wasn't your job that you'd be doing?
God. That is a very good question, my friend. Before I was doing streaming, I was doing accounts management.
Okay.
For I won't go into any detail, but I was doing accounts management.
Okay.
And probably still doing that, which was fucking boring. So
Fair enough.
I'm really glad where I am now, and I feel very fortunate to be able to do something like this. I don't know how long it will last, but I'm gonna enjoy it while it does, because it's a pretty big opportunity to do something very different. I mean, trying to explain this to the rest of my family was just like
it's massive.
It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Milton. You talk about it all the time.
Judgmental grandparents and stuff. They're just like, what is, you say, I stream on a website called Twitch, and they're like, what? It's like Eugene, so.
Yeah. What do you guys, here's a question for you. I don't mean to derail it, but what do you guys say when you're trying to explain to someone who has no fucking clue what Twitch is? How do you describe your job?
Can I say?
What do you say?
So what I say is I sit and I play video games, and I have a camera on me, and I talk to people, right? And a couple times I'll get like, "Hey, well, you have clothes on, right?" Like that's the first thing that happens.
Okay.
I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Well, do you do anything?" I'm like, "No, I just talk to people." And they're like, "Wait, so you don't do it? You just sit there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
Yes.
And everyone's like, "What? I don't. Why would people watch you?"
Okay.
And I think
okay,
that
good.
day.
Yes. Okay. Because I had that experience too. So I tried to sort of evolve my answer for people. And I realized how fucking horribly it went because I was trying to explain to my extended family 2 summers ago when I was introducing them to Aaron, what I do for a living. And I had told a few of them, and they had told my grandmother, and we were visiting her in the hospital. And she had just had some like minor surgery on her toe or something fucking random. And anyways, we're in there and like with my like 9 and 10 and 11-year-old cousins. And so what I'd been telling them, what I'd been explaining is that I'm an online entertainer. And my fucking grandma was like,
"Oh yes, dear. Here's Milton, and Milton does the porno."
And I was like, "No, grandma! No, I don't do porno. That's not what I mean by online entertainment." Oh my god, damn it. So yeah, I've always struggled with how to define it. Like I say I'm an online entertainer and everyone's like, "Okay, cam girl." And I'm like, "No, I don't mean that."
Yeah.
Dude, it's led to some awkward conversations for me. Like just the other day, I went to the chiropractor and I told my chiropractor, he's like, "Hey, what do you do?" You know, I'm just like, I'm a streamer on the internet." And he's like, "Oh, do you make a good living from that?" And then I jokingly said, "Yeah, I'm rich as fuck." And he took me seriously. You know? Yeah, he always and then the worst, and then he told his assistant that I stream. He's like, "Oh, so I heard you're a streamer." I heard you're a streamer. I'm just like, she's like, "Well, what do you do?" I'm not going to tell this, attractive woman that I'm a role player and that she might not understand that. So I just go, "I'm a comedian. I like comedy. I'm kind of funny sometimes, but like unintentionally funny, so it's even worse."
Jesus.
I mean, hey man, you never know. Aaron gets turned on when I bust out the Kiki voice.
Oh hell yeah, I can imagine.
Oh yeah.
That reminds me.
Like I'm gonna tell someone I'm a pimp.
Sipping water. Holy crap.
Jesus.
That's what I should tell them. I just tell people, dude, honestly, I just tell people I'm unemployed a lot of the time. Just go, I'm fucking unemployed. I don't know what I'm doing.
I have a job, dude.
What do you do for work? I don't. Okay.
I just sit at home and play games, dude. Fuck. Yeah, I try and dance around. I don't know. Whenever, like my parents, they were pretty adverse to it for a while until, I mean, my family is just kind of like, as soon as money started rolling in, because I'm a young guy, as soon as money started rolling in, they were like, okay, whatever. But anytime anybody asks me, like, what I do, it's like, I try and like, how do I explain that I pretend to be a cop on the internet and, do it for, now thousands of people.
Oh, meanwhile.
Tell people you're a fake cop, dude. That'd be great.
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of like, I don't know, I just try and say it's like, it's almost like improv acting. That's the best way I can put it.
Oh, that's a good way.
Yeah, it's the best way that I can put it.
Tell people that you impersonate a cop and then you get paid per arrest. It's pretty easy.
I'll tell you this. I went
for a fucking YouTube shit.
I went through a lot of this shit before, because when I started playing, because I had a decent salary job and all that shit. Then like when I quit that to play poker, everybody was like, "Kyle, what the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm making money, motherfucker. What are you doing?"
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely didn't say that as a machine gunner. What are you doing, Milton? Making $4 an hour.
Oh, fuck. Jesus. Have you guys like? Because I know I think we talked about this like last week as well. Do you have anybody like Kyle, Ashlynn, like anybody that you know, like IRL, that like actively talks to you about your stream or like brings up your stream, or have you had somebody that you don't know that is like, recognized you in any way and like brought up your stream? And like I don't know.
Is it weird to say that I don't really know too many people IRL now because of streaming? And I feel like ever since I started streaming, it's like, well, okay, not even like in a sad way, but it's like, I feel like I connect with people less because I'm always either working from home or like just not. I feel like whenever I try to talk to people at stream or people that I, I'm friends with or whatever, I feel like it's a weird concept to a lot of people where they're like, what? Like, why is that a problem? I don't understand.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to connect with people or to explain like, hey, this is an issue that I have. Like this person in chat said this one thing and it really hurt my feelings. They're like, it's just the internet.
Yeah.
Just turn off the computer, idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, and
You're
just don't listen to
so
them.
hard
Just block
later.
them.
Controlled so hard. Like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but that's like for me, I kind of connect more with the people that I game with, like you guys, right? People that I get to talk to on a daily basis. For me, anyways, is kind of like more like who I connect with the most, if that makes any sense.
Okay, fair enough.
a lot of my RL friends like know what I do and stuff, and a couple of my like real life friends actually watch me pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, then also a lot of my friends also don't know what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just kind of never talk about it.
You sound like
with
a
lot of
spy.
people.
Yeah. If I told you, I'd have to kill
you. Yeah. Fair enough.
Huh. Yours is does your family ever watch you guys?
No. My dad watches my channel quite a lot, actually. I don't. Because I usually check to see who's around in chat that I know, and he's in there sometimes.
Do you guys get uncomfortable because of it?
I
had to ban my dad one time because I was like, Dad, get out of my stream.
Yeah.
my mom doesn't even think I swear in real life. She doesn't even think I say she literally doesn't even think I say the word crap. If she listened to 30 seconds of Kiki Chanel, she would never speak to me again, for sure.
Oh, that's right. Your mom she was in town and you were telling me, you're like, I can't stream it because she could never hear what I'm saying.
My God, dude. Oh my, like for example, I think I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I remember when I had just made my sub badge, like I just started streaming and I just made my sub badge, and I was like, oh yeah, because I have this character Kiki Chanel, so I made my sub emote or whatever, Lady Glue, and my mom was like, oh, what's that? And I was
oh my God.
And I was like, you know what? I don't really want to talk about it. And she was like, no, go ahead. You can tell me whatever it is. And I was like, well, what do you think Lady Glue would be? How would a woman produce glue? And she was like, you mean like arts and crafts? And I was like, yep, that's what that's what I mean, Mom. I mean arts and crafts. So
now's a good opportunity to explain it, Milton.
My mom lived in the bedroom right underneath of mine. And she would always complain like, Kyle, I can hear you. I can hear everything. And I'm like, oh shit. My mom knows what a cunt I am. So I mean, she had an idea before, but
now she knows for sure.
Yeah, she's 100% sure on that
one. Yeah, fair enough. Whenever I was at my my parents' place for a while, it was always a thought in the back of my head whenever I'm on the server like yelling like just various shit that like police shit even, or even just like it gets really fucking weird sometimes. I'm just thinking like what are they thinking? I'm sitting alone in my room. I barely leave it, and I'm out here pretending to be a cop on the internet. Like, I don't know.
I had my brother staying with me once, and he came into my room while I was streaming, and he was sat behind me while I was reading somebody's rights. Yeah. And he was laughing the whole time. Yeah. The entire time. Out loud. Really loudly.
It's funny they say that though, Ziggy, because the first person to really bring that to my attention actually was Greek God when he was playing Tay-Tay. At one point, Kiki was carrying him, and with every step, because when you're carrying somebody on the server, you kind of take 2 steps and then stop, and Jesus, oh my God. You take 2 steps and you stop, and then you take 2 steps and you stop. So each time Kiki would take the 2 steps, I go, oh my God. And Greek God talking to his chat is like,
this is some fucking 30-year-old guy sitting in his fucking room making these fucking sounds. Some 30-year-old guy in his fucking underwear sitting here making these sounds.
And I was like, this is what my life is. This is what my fucking life is. So yeah, I can relate.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Dogs went wild. Anyway. Okay. Where were we? They threw me way off. Let's see. Okay, we're good. What were we just talking about?
People hearing you
Milton was
RP.
talking about moaning.
Ooh, yeah.
People hearing your RP-ness.
Yeah, that's
So as a cop as well, you yell quite a lot. So
exactly.
Yelling,
Yeah.
stop moving, LSPD, get your fucking hands up. I'm sure my neighbors must think.
Dude, yeah, that's
Well, yeah,
Dude,
that's
yeah.
what I'm worried
My
about
neighbors
now.
have called the cops on me twice.
Wait,
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
what?
I'm just
Yep.
fucking with
I
you,
was
dude.
about
That
to
never
say,
happened.
shit.
But they
Jeez.
hear me all the time. And sometimes, like, I know they can hear me because I can hear their doors shutting on their car. And then you got me. All I do is fucking scream every morning and every night. I'm just fucking screaming. They probably think I'm a lunatic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you with a pinch
Yes.
voice. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you think it's bad from a cop, think from Kiki screaming, "I'll fucking die! You'll never arrest me! I'll fucking die! I don't care! Fucking shoot me!"
Oh, fuck.
My neighbors do give me weird looks too all the time. I've never talked to like
Same.
when I have
Yeah,
new
my
neighbors.
neighbors-
They just give
Mhm.
me the weirdest look.
Yeah, ever since I moved here, like my neighbors don't really talk to me all that much. The people who live across from me, they like the other day, because I have my dogs here because I'm dog sitting for the week, and I'm bringing my little dog upstairs, and he goes, "Oh, she's cute, she's like, how old is she?" I was like, "Oh, she's pretty old, etc." He's like, "Oh, well, we never hear her." I'm just like, oh my fucking god! They don't tell me that I'm loud, but they're like, "Oh, well, we've never heard her before." And he like glared a second. I was like, "Oh fuck! All right."
Hilarious.
Yeah, I can't leave my window open anymore.
Yeah.
Whenever
You
it's
should.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
Ava,
yelling too.
Assert dominance.
add me on Discord and I'll get you in the call. Wait, is Ava awake? No fucking way.
She's here.
Oh my god, she's alive, kinda. Okay.
Oh,
Now I can't talk crap
Fucking-
about
All
her.
right. All
fucking quality just went down 30% for this podcast.
right.
Hey, I have a super random question for you guys.
Yeah, go for it.
So, how much are you guys like your RP characters?
Uh,
Like,
You're asking if we're role-playing or not role-playing. Is that right?
no, I'm just
We just get-
wondering. All right, listen, I'm just wondering how much of yourself do you put in? You inject in your character.
An upsetting amount.
yeah.
Yeah.
I tell like IRL stories in character, like
Oh, God.
the story about me fearing open water and like fish biting my nipple. That's the thing that Bugs has gone through.
What?
What?
Hold on.
Can you explain? Can you explain
Okay,
Excuse me?
okay,
A fish
alright.
bit your fucking nipple? That's kind of hot.
Okay.
Isn't that more of a
okay.
suckle, or did this fish have teeth,
Every bit of
motherfucker?
water.
It's like a pike or something. You know?
Okay, all right. So I have a crippling fear of open water. This is a very long-winded story, but I'll make it quick.
Okay.
So it starts out with, I used to live in a neighborhood. We had ditches, and they were deep ditches, and whenever it rained, they would fill up because it wouldn't drain properly. And being a kid, we would always used to go fuck around in the ditches, but we found out that crawfish end up in the ditches because the water sits for so long, and we used to go crawfishing in these ditches.
Oh my god.
And one day I'm walking home from, I don't remember what I was doing. I just remember I was walking home, and there was a kid. He was in the ditch, and he was a friend, and he grabs a crawfish, and he goes, "Hey Johnny, catch!" And he tosses it at me. I wasn't ready for this. It hits my chest, and by some miracle of God, its little claw clamps on my left nipple. And I was just like, "What the fuck?" What? So I pulled it off. It hurt. I was like, "What the fuck? Why?" So flash forward, I don't know, I was like 7 then. Flash forward, I'm like 11 or so. I'm out at a lake with my family. It's a freshwater lake. We're all hanging out. There's like, I don't know, there's like fucking 7, 8 of us. We're all, people are throwing footballs. We got pool noodles. It's the middle of summer. It's great. Everybody's having a great time. I'm like shoulder high, neck high in water. Everybody's chilling, hanging out. And again, for no apparent reason, I don't know why this happened. A a fish. I don't know what kind. The water's relatively murky. I don't know what kind of fish, but it had to be of relatively decent size because a fish swims up and bites my nipple. It bites.
Do you have particularly delectable nipples or something? Like
Particularly pointy.
I don't know why, but this fish swims up and bites my nipple, and it didn't hurt all that bad, but I was a
Did you
kid,
like
and
it?
it was like I was
that's the real question.
I was in shock. I was like, "What the fuck? Why did this happen? Like, why?" Like, I get up back on the shore, and I'm just like, "Why? Why did this? My nipple's bleeding. There's like a ring around my nipple. It was
What kind of fish was that?
I don't know. I do
Does they
not
just
know.
go bloop, bloop?
Hi,
Damn,
Ava.
that
Good
fish got a
morning.
mouth on him.
Dude,
Good morning.
Oh,
I
good
don't know why it
morning.
happened, but it did. And then, there's more stories. There's another story about I went to Florida, and my family's like neck high in ocean water, and I at this point I had an established fear of sea creatures, and they were wanting me like, oh, just come out here, just you've been hanging out on the beach for like, I don't know, like 30 minutes an hour, you're gonna get sunburned, it's really hot, just come out here, pussy. So I was like,
Is Kiki in here? What the hell?
sounds like Kiki's friend or some shit.
Yeah.
That
So-
character definitely would wear a mesh tank top.
Yes.
So they're just like, just come out here, it's fine, whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. It's hot. I'm getting sunburnt. I might as well get in the water. It's the only way I'm going to cool off. So I start walking in. I get like knee high in water, and I notice something floating in front of me. I walk forward a little bit more to try and get a closer look. I realize it is now. I've seen small jellyfish on the shore. I've seen like small ones where I was like, oh, it's not that big a deal, no problem. But this one was fucking big. It was big and it was long, and it was floating like, I don't know, a good like, I don't know, 6 to 5 feet in front of me. I was like, oh fuck, never mind. So I go back up on the shore. I was like, okay, maybe I'll wait it out. So I wait like 20, 30 minutes. It gets down shore at this point. The drifts, it's probably drifted away. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get back in the water. So I get back in the water. I go walking again, and again I get about knee to thigh high in water at this point, and about we'll say I don't know, 5 to 10 feet to the left in front of me, I see a dark spot in the water, and in my head I'm like, oh, it's just mud. The sand washed up for whatever reason. I was like, oh, it's just mud, huh? So I kept walking, and then that dark spot shifted in front of me, and I was like, oh, it clicked in my head. I was like, oh, that's a fucking stingray. So I was like, okay, I'm out of the water again.
Oh,
I was like,
Whoa.
yeah. I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, obviously the creatures of the ocean don't want me in the fucking water. So anyway,
I've also been bit by a fish.
oh fuck. Wait, what kind of fish?
what?
It was like my first time in a lake. I remember this memory specifically, and I remember them because I was afraid to go in the lake, and I remember someone's I forget who it was, like a family member or something, and they're like, fish don't bite. And I walk into the water in the swim area, like the designated swim zone, and I got bit. I think I walked into like a fish nest.
A fish
Oh,
nest?
I don't know.
A fish.
Step on it.
I don't know,
Okay.
but I got bit, and it was very traumatic.
Do you not do what kind of? I mean, what sort of fish was it? Do you know? Was it like a
A freshwater fish.
That narrows it down. Okay.
yeah.
Probably like a fucking pike or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they lay their eggs.
Oh, Jesus. What? Wait, what?
I
What?
grew up on a cove, so I swam
Fish have
all the time.
eggs.
Well,
Fish
yeah.
eggs.
Well, yeah, but what do you mean?
What does that have? How is that relevant? They laid their eggs in you, or what?
Because I'm pretty sure that's what I walked into,
Oh.
and then they attacked me.
I don't go outside.
They were
so I
mad.
don't
I
know
was
the
gonna
fish
squish
stories.
their babies.
They were pissed.
Dude, I don't know.
'cause you
Fish are
fucked
just
up
dicks. I don't know the Indian excuse.
Yeah.
Like the only dude, fuck fish, man. You know the only thing that's worse than fish? The only animal that is worse than fish. In this life, I have like 2 phobias. Number 1 is sauce, and number 2,
what?
Yep,
yeah,
any kind of
mayonnaise.
sauce. Yep. Oh,
Fuck
dude.
mayo, dude.
And
Fuck
thank
mayo.
you. Thank you.
Wait.
And
Mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise, yep. And number 2 is horses. Horses,
horses freak me out.
horses are inherently satanic creatures that are looking for any opportunity to kick you, bite you, or fuck you, or some combination of the three.
No.
That is the only thing. They are creatures hell-bent on achieving that goal at any cost. So as a real quick story, I don't know if you're able to show pictures on stream. Well, you don't have to anyway.
I mean, I can.
Well, you don't have to. It seemed like a weird Guardium Flexiosa, but but basically what I was going to say is, so in my last year in the Army, I went through and I've talked about this on stream, but I went through a real intense depression, real bad. And I lost like 40 pounds in a month because I just basically stopped eating. But then once I started coming out of the upswing, it was at the tail end of a super fucking horrendously abusive relationship. And once I got out of that and I started rediscovering what it was like to be happy again, one of the first things that I discovered was powerlifting. So in like 5.5 months, I went from 217 pounds of basically skin and bones to 245 pounds of fucking brick shithouse muscle because I was powerlifting 4 hours a day because the Army was like, yeah, hell yeah, go lift stuff for us. We'll pay you. We'll compensate you. I don't know. Just go and do it. So I'm this big beefy dude. And I knew some people who owned a horse and knew that I had this phobia of horses, and we're like, hey man, you know what? All you need to do is ride a horse and you'll see that it's all fine. And I was like, okay. So we went out and I sat on this fucking horse, and this horse was like a miniature pony. Like I was bigger than this horse, and I rode around on this horse for probably 6 minutes. And I looked down because I thought, like, I was wondering, I didn't know what I was seeing. It just looked really weird. And what it was steam, because this fucking horse was sweating so much trying to carry me. It was literally soaked in sweat trying to carry me. And then started making these angry noises like, and it was like swinging its head up and sort of like opening its mouth at me. And I could tell in horse language, it was going like, bro, fuck up. Bro, you're too heavy. Don't do this. Get the fuck off of me, dude. I'm half your size. Why are you doing this? And so the long story short is did not help my phobia at all. Horses are evil creatures.
I mean, I feel like after treating them like slaves probably for however long, and like if you look at old horses, their backs literally like concave in, like from people riding on them for so long. I'd probably bite people too.
Fair. I don't know. I've only had positive experiences with horses, if I'm honest. I don't know. I mean, you know, being from, I don't know. I guess it's just I was kind of brought up, not really around them, but like, you know, they weren't like a anomaly to me. So I got to hang out. I guess they were friendly ones, but depends on what horse you get. You gotta.
I never met a horse before. I can say that I've never met.
I've never seen one in person.
Don't.
Really?
Your life expectancy is much higher. Your life expectancy is much higher if you don't. So don't.
So weird. We just have those, like, if you drive out of town enough, you'll just see those fuckers roaming around like they're just hanging out in a field. That's crazy. All right. Jeez.
I think I'm scared of them because I feel like once you like get on them, it's like
they're in control.
Like you just are running. And you're like,
it's their turn.
Okay.
So actually, you know what? I did see a horse take a real big shit before. I remember that his horse was just walking, and then all of a sudden, this big old pile of shit just pours out of it. Like,
I envy that. I want to live my life like that.
Yeah, it's the only time I've ever seen a horse.
Yeah, they use them all the time in Austin, like downtown and in San Antonio and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Pull the tourists around.
Okay. We've kind of done this for mostly everybody here, but Ava, since you are awake, and are you good? Are you?
Yes.
Define good.
She's got this.
I'm great.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. We've kind of introed everybody here. So I guess the first question is, how long you've been streaming? How'd you get started streaming? What'd you do beforehand, etc.
I have been streaming for so long that I don't remember how long I've been streaming for.
Yeah, that's.
But I got into it because I used to play Call of Duty with some girlfriends, and they were streamers. I met them randomly in a public lobby.
Yeah.
And I started watching them. Miss Vixen and Melissa, you might have heard of them.
Yeah.
And then I started streaming during college as a hobby for fun.
Okay.
And then it kind of just snowballed into this.
All right. And then I know, obviously, it got big on Twitch, and a lot of people heard about it that way. But how'd you hear about No Pics, or I guess maybe like seen it on somebody's stream, etc.?
So I knew what GTA RP was because it's always kind of been, it's had its moments on Twitch where it's gotten big and then it goes back down and then gets big again.
Yeah.
So the last time I really started paying attention to it was the last ride, I guess, with like Sheriff Eli and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. I always thought it was super funny. And then recently, obviously I had friends that were getting into it and I'd always been curious, but super shy about it. And I talked to Ashlynn and Space Cowboy about it. And they kind of really convinced me to grow some balls and try it out. And I got onto it and I've just been having a really good time with it.
Oh yeah.
Space Cowboy?
Space Boy, I forget.
It's Space Boy.
Space Boy right now, okay?
I want to change my name to Space Cowboy. That's an amazing.
That's okay.
Shut up.
All right, fair enough.
I literally went from waking up to walking over here, and my brain is
yeah.
not turned on yet.
Fair. Well, okay. Well, then another question for that. What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't streaming, or what would you want to be doing if you don't know?
So I have my degree in speech language disorders.
Mm.
I'd be working with autistic children still, probably.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
It just, I made more money streaming a couple hours a night than I did like 12 hours a day with kids. So
right. Yeah, I feel that. Okay, fair enough. Let's see here. We'll keep moving on. So wait, I know we're good on that. Okay.
I'd be working as a receptionist.
Yeah. Brent, dude, I cannot believe how similar you are to Brendan. That shit is so
come
fun.
on.
It's true. It's true.
Okay. Yeah, everyone that goes to my streams are like, I love this IRL streamer.
Oh my god. Okay, give me a second. Let me scroll down here.
Where's Cronus?
I don't know. He said he was gonna be around, but he may just be sleeping right now, which is no big deal. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, a lot of people are on that late night.
Yeah.
55 slots.
I'm an early bird.
Yeah.
It's just easy for me.
Say, what time do you usually start your fucking stream?
8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Good lord. How are you even
wake up that early?
I like normalcy, so that's why I like getting up. I feel like I have a lot of time in the day to take care of whatever, just like lounge around and do nothing. I like having a normal schedule. It helps me out a lot.
My schedule has always been rotating because I'm not a functioning member of society. But here recently, I've been getting up. I was able to get on at the 3 a.m. restart. At least it was 3 a.m. for me, Central Standard. So I guess it would be 4 a.m. Eastern. And that's when I was fucking waking up every day to try and get on the server. Yeah, it's wild.
Do they have 3 resets now?
They do. They have the one at well, these are my times: 3 a.m. and then 11 a.m. and then one during NA hours. I'm not sure what time that is for everybody, but okie dokie.
7 p.m. for me.
Yeah.
What time zone are you?
Central.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Because I couldn't even get on early, like 1 or 12 to try and get into it because it would reset.
Yeah.
Wait, am I the only PST person here?
I think you might
Gross.
be. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Kyle's on the East Coast. The snow's fucking across the pond. So.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, how many of you guys live your stream by like an actual set schedule versus
Oof,
just
nope,
kind of
not mine.
waking up. And because I tried the whole schedule thing, I think for me, what works best is kind of more of like a flexible schedule. If
Yeah.
I have a set schedule where I have to be somewhere at an exact time, it gives me so much anxiety. I'm like, I can't make this time anymore.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm pretty steady with mine, genuinely.
Yeah.
My hours are pretty consistent. I usually do 11 a.m. CST. It actually worked out really well that like for the last 2 years, pretty much my streams have always started at 11 a.m.
Oh, wow.
CST, and that's exactly when the server restarts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I usually go 11 a.m. to 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Mhm.
And then 2 to 3 days a week, I go 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And that's because I need the mornings. I need like 6:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. to work on my masters. And then I spend time with Erin until she goes to bed. And then I do my evening streams.
Yeah.
So it's pretty reliable because all those things are pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I'd
My
like to say I'm
streams.
very consistent with my stream schedule.
You say you are very?
Very consistent. I think I'm always around at 8 a.m. Always.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mine, I'm fucking. This is the only thing that I stick a schedule to. Otherwise,
Yeah, weren't you
I'm a
on,
bit
like-
all over the place?
You would be starting at like 3 a.m. for me sometimes. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, Ziggy just got on. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You've
Mine-
always been kind of all over the place, though. Zig.
I have.
Like,
So what it is for me is, say I'll get up one day at a decent hour, and I'll spend a whole lot of time on the server, and I'll stay awake for too long, and then I sleep in for too long, and then it gives that like few extra hours of push of when I wake up, and then it just continues, and it continues until I'm streaming at, fucking 2, 3 in the fucking morning, and playing with all these Australians, and then like 2 to 3 days later I'm fucking in A hours again, and I don't know what's going on.
and then EU.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking it just rotates around the clock constantly. Yeah. It's
I
all
just
over the
have
place.
mine trained so they never know when I'm getting on or if I'm even gonna get on.
Yeah,
They don't complain to me about it.
yeah.
Dude, well, honestly,
They just know
that
if
might
I
be
do, it's that
might be the way to. It might be the way to fucking go, because one of the saddest things I see is the person who gets it the worst, interestingly enough, is Penta. Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
What?
Some of the people that follow him are legitimately toxic AF.
Yeah.
They'll comment on his tweet if he's like, oh shit, like I woke up really sick today, I really feel like shit. I think I'm going to take today to rest up. Immediately you'll see people responding to his tweet in all sincerity, being like,
Wow, fucking waste of my sub. I know who I'm unsubbing to. Maybe I'll subscribe to someone who's fucking consistent. It's
Dude,
outrageous.
yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, it's like, bro, it's awful, man.
I'd
I
be
feel
like,
so
Sounds
bad.
like
for
an
you
him.
can
issue.
take your sub and
Yeah,
actually
man.
shove it up your ass
Yeah.
if you think I care.
I was seeing a good bit of that on Twitter. Like, who was it? There was someone recently where I think it was Connor or something like that, where he was like, hey, taking a day off, doing this, that, and the other, and somebody had like messaged him, and he's like, he's like, you need to be streaming more consistently, or I'm gonna take my sub and my follows somewhere else. Just you need to have more ambition.
Wolfie.
Wolfie,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
who it was.
that was
Wolfie.
Wolfie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to have more ambition. I was like, what
Oh,
a cunt.
I know what you're
Oh
talking
my
about.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
pretty
that was
unbelievable.
that was when I said you should thank that person, because when someone like that leaves your community, it's like the garbage taking itself out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Fucking sick, dude. Yeah.
I had a subscriber get mad at me because I said that I was gonna do like a bikini stream, but if you're like a viewer in my channel, you knew that I was gonna come out in like a hairy man
Right.
bikini,
Yeah.
like as a joke. Obviously, I'm not gonna fucking dance on stream in a bikini. Like
Right.
anyone with a brain knows that. And so when I did that, he legit got so pissed at me and wrote like an essay
Oh
on how
my
like I would have
God.
gained so many more subscribers had I done what I was gonna say in my tweet, and that tricking my viewers wasn't nice, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. I could not believe it.
You're just pissed you
Some
didn't see
viewers are
bikini. The
just-
fucking
they're
dude.
They're a little or something.
I'm
Oh,
right
yeah.
there with you with weird messages. All right, I've gotten my fair share
Yeah.
of weird fucking messages sent my
Yeah.
Hate
way.
photo
all right?
requests.
Yeah. I mean,
What
One of
requests?
them. What's one of your favorites?
One of my favorite one is like essay about how much this man loved me. That's
Oh,
my
no.
favorite this day.
Ooh.
And I've had
Ooh.
a couple of them, and
Hey.
blocked. Nah. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, can't say I've ever dealt with that.
Dude,
I bet.
dude, I can't
I was
imagine what
actually
y'all
gonna
have to go
ask
through.
if
Holy
you guys,
fuck.
if you guys are willing to talk about it, I was going to ask Ashlynn and Ava, what is it like genuinely? What is it like in terms of how often do you, because one of the people who streams I would go to, and she's one of the most outspoken people against it, but seems to get the most number of genuine types of these comments is Austin Marie. And I'd go to her channel and I'd be watching her for like 3 minutes, and I'd see someone comment, they donate like 500 bits, like
Maybe 500 bits is enough for you to finally say hello to me. I've only been here for an hour.
and I'm like, yuck,
Holy
man.
fuck.
And then
If
like
you-
people would donate and be like,
What does a guy have to do to get you to actually respond to me on Discord? Like, I just want someone to talk to.
I'm like,
Jesus.
ooh.
Yikes.
Dude.
Big,
You guys-
big yikes.
Do you guys
I
get that
a
kind of
lot,
shit?
Probably every time I stream.
That
But,
is so fucked, man.
I roast you.
Yeah.
If there's one
Hell yeah.
like one thing you can do in my stream to piss me off is sub or donate and then get mad at me for not noticing because I'm playing a goddamn fucking game.
Oh, my
Yup.
God.
I'm like, I'm sorry. Do you not see me in the middle of a fucking gunfight right now? I'm sorry. Let me stroke your ear. No. Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No. Just-
Yeah, I'd say
Oh.
the same thing.
That's fucking wild, man.
Because at one point you just kind of have to laugh at it. Like you can't take it too seriously or like get upset
Yeah.
over it. You just have to kind of be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no. I definitely just like roast and laugh at them and then
Yeah. Move on.
move on.
I love roasting chat. I do it a lot. It's
Yes.
like a hobby of mine.
I love doing that shit.
My chat's
Especially as a
pretty
cop streamer, like whenever, like initially, whenever like we were that whole boom like happened, and we were having to arrest people left and right. It was oof. It got fucking rough.
It got
It's
pretty
still
wild for a little.
still kind of rough to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
but
started down
it
a little
has.
bit though from what it was, but
Yeah.
it can still get pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah.
People that just
Yeah, and I know.
simply do not have a clue what
Yeah.
they're talking about.
Yeah.
RP chat is the craziest kind of chat
It
I've ever
is.
had.
It is
Ever.
Dude, I remember I was talking to DJ Wheat because he wanted me to talk. He wanted to talk to me about all of it, and he was saying, he's like, so what do you think about all these different like content creators interacting with one another? And I was like, do you think? He asked me like, do you think it gets like toxic? Like, how is chat? And I was like, oh, you have no fucking clue. I was like, it gets fucking wild. And I was like, we most people who've been doing this for a while know how to handle it, know how to like manage and like try and get people sorted. It's no big deal, but it gets fucking wild. Like,
It's
anyway.
definitely one of the most interesting chats
Yeah.
I've ever had to deal with or see.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for streamers sometimes. Like especially when you're like a lawyer or cop going up against one of the bigger streamers, I just see them
Yeah.
get raided in their chat and completely shit on, and it's like they're just let them RP, just let them have fun.
Yeah.
And then chat's like trying to make them feel bad or stupid about anything that they're doing or saying.
Oh, yeah.
I do think that an important part is, not to put an unfair amount of burden or onus on the streamer, because particularly once it starts to go up in size, it's harder and harder to regulate.
Right.
But I do think that a considerable amount is on the streamer to cultivate the kind of community that they want.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
sometimes it genuinely doesn't happen that often, because Kiki's usually Kiki and me are usually pretty prepared to accept the consequences of my
Right.
actions, which are usually pretty fucking ridiculous. But there are a couple of times when I'll actually get salty,
Right.
and because we're all human, we all
Right, yeah.
have fucking human
for sure.
reactions. But other than that, I'm usually, and I encourage my mods as well, to run with a pretty iron fist when it comes to
Yeah.
talking about other streamers.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So, if I get arrested by somebody, sometimes it doesn't matter how many times I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. Please don't go to their channel. I'm not cranky. This makes
Right.
sense. The cops are doing their job. because I'll make such a compelling argument for why Kiki shouldn't be arrested, but it makes no fucking sense. And any cop who's been on the job since lunch would know that it's bullshit. And then people will go over to the channel and be like, yeah, you fucking toxic cop.
My streamer didn't
Power gamer,
win.
yeah. And I'm like, hey, if you see anybody going to anybody else's stream and doing that kind of shit, ban them immediately. That's an immediate and irreversible ban. I don't care if they come back and say sorry.
Yep.
That's it. And so it really actually helps. Like
Yeah.
you know, when new people sort of learn the ropes and that trashing other content creators isn't tolerated, it's pretty good. And I'm lucky to have it. Yeah. I'm genuinely, dude, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky to have an incredibly positive community. The term that I like to use is toxic positivity. Because, genuinely, they're really, really good.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, that was one thing I was always scared of when I first started RPing. I was like, I don't want to ruin anyone else's RP because I was so new at it that I felt like if I were to interact with somebody, I didn't want their community to be like, who is this weirdo that's just like talking to my streamer? Like, what is she even doing? So that was something that I had to get over with time because it was something that was in the back of my head of like, hey, don't mess up the RP, don't mess up the RP. Like, and then you kind of realize you just have to ignore chat a lot of the time. And that's something that I'm still getting used to anyways.
Yeah, because there's definitely been moments where chat has made me feel like I'd fucked up the RP or something. And then I've reached out to the streamer because I feel terrible. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's fine.
And it happens every time. They're like, I wasn't even mad. They're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And you're just like, no, I had to just double check because chat makes me think otherwise. And then I'm overthinking it. And
fuck you, chat.
That's great. That's great.
Nice.
That's just, you know, coming from me who like was super new to this. And I know Ava and I have both kind of started at the same time. It was like, I don't know how maybe it was for you, Ava, but for me it was like definite learning.
I still deal with that for sure. I'm still trying to get over that.
When you do like the level of criminal shit that like I'm doing all the time and like I go to jail for extremely long times, my chat's pretty like not that bad as it used to be. Holy fuck, when things first started changing, holy fucking shit.
They're used to you in jail.
I've arrested you quite a lot. Well, I arrested Slim and your different characters quite a lot, Carl. And I've really I don't think really anyone's jumped over from chat before. Like,
yeah, because I've been managing that shit for a long time. You know what I mean? Like I've been ever since, because I used to go to jail like fucking 5 times a day on Wyatt and stuff like that. I used to go to jail all fucking time. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I think it's just like it's kind of like the feel of the conversation to the viewer. Sometimes some people just get it wrong, and then that kind of festers and spreads because everybody jumps on it and bandwagon. I don't know. It's weird, but I think the mods across all the different NoPixel streamers do an amazing job. These guys are insane.
What mods?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they started up that Discord and have been like kind of working, like they all work together to help each other out. It's great. I love that shit.
Yep.
Anyhow, all right. Transitioning into other topics. We'll talk about a little bit about Twitch business. So first off, I know is everybody here going to TwitchCon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is everybody here?
Yep.
I know.
I'm actually not sure because your boy Milton had no idea for why. Well, why? I don't know why the fuck is it in fucking September? The last 2 years, it's been the end of October,
Milton.
like plus or minus a day. Well, no, hold on, because the reason is literally a week and a half ago, before tickets went on sale, Aaron walked into my office and said, "Hey, one of my best friends is getting married on September 28th. Are you free?" And I said, "Of course I'm free. I promise I'm free. I can absolutely go. I give you my word. Absolutely nothing would get in the way of that. I promise."
Boy.
Yep. And then I found out fucking 3 days later that I guess this year they decided to do it a fucking month earlier. So I don't know.
Let's go Friday and Saturday.
A wedding's only one day.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I'll just fly across the fucking continent back and forth like a goddamn ping pong. That sounds wicked.
If you loved your viewers, you would.
Oh,
I
boy.
swear to God. You think I?
Right,
You think?
chat?
Right? You think?
Uh-oh.
You think I give a shit about those toxic fuck? No, do not
Capital D.
decolon.
Yeah, it's too
Don't
late.
you
There they go.
dare.
Decolon.
Truth comes out.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
I
Sorry,
know-
Chad. I tried.
Fucking A.
TwitchCon last year was a lot of fun. I
It was
really enjoyed it.
really fun.
It
That
was.
shit was a good time. Even though you
It's
ended up in the
really
hospital,
fun.
but you know.
Wait,
What?
what?
Oh yeah, I
What?
like the party, dude.
Kyle, dude.
I like the party, man. Who would've thought?
Dude, okay, so I remember roaming around because Kyle and Spaceboy had just like gotten into like just like flew in, and Kyle and Spaceboy and me were like trying to get a hold of one another, like trying to figure out where we're supposed to be. And I meet up with Kyle, and then we get a hold of Spaceboy, and then immediately, you know, people are hitting us up and they're like, all right, let's go to lunch and, you know, whatnot. So we all go out to lunch. So as soon as Kyle here gets off the plane, we all go out and we immediately start drinking. And we did, like, for the rest of the day, you know, it was just intermittently, you know, drinking, hanging out. And he ended up pissing on a wall in a bar. It wasn't like, you know,
Oh,
it wasn't like, you know, you go walking around in the city and, you know, you go pee on a wall because you're drunk and you don't have anywhere else to go. No, it was in the bar that we were drinking at.
Oh my god, dude!
I
What?
tried
I
to
can't
fight
wait
a
to meet you
bouncer,
guys.
too.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
Yeah.
There was this guy that came up to me
Allegedly.
just outside, and he was like, "There's this guy pissing on the bar inside. I think he's like a fucking
God.
streamer or something." And I looked around the corner, it
Uh-oh.
was Kyle. I was like, it was pretty.
And
And
then
then
Jesus.
Vader came up to me, and he just somehow ended up with a pint of gin and tonic, and kept on asking me how he came across this pint of gin and tonic. And I just said, "Mate, I have no idea. You probably ordered it at the bar. Just saying." And carried on drinking. It was good.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah,
so
yeah.
fun.
I'm not going anywhere near you guys.
dude,
I
we
like
were
the party, man.
I'm gonna
trying-
bring them to
we
you.
we just all got
Ashlynn.
together and get fucked up.
We're doing a big
hang-
no pixel meetup thing again, I think. From what
Yeah, we're
I don't want to end up in jail.
we're-
be in
Hey,
jail.
I almost
Let me
ended up in jail, but I evaded that charge. Let's go. Allegedly, of course. I'll never
allegedly,
admit
of course. That
this is a joke, chat.
anyway. But yeah, no, that's it was a really good time. I really enjoyed TwitchCon last year.
Yeah, it was a really good time.
I'm kind of worried about this year because we're like it's gonna be really different because we're on a bit of a different level as far as like I don't know.
I don't think it'll be different.
No.
It's gonna
Okay. All right. fair
Bruh,
enough.
it'll be different. Trust
It's-
me on that one.
How do you think it's gonna be? How's it gonna be any different? There's thousands of people there. Like, understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. To a degree, it's
Yeah.
gonna be different, but
Yeah.
nothing like major.
I guess so.
It's only different if you IRL stream us at the bar and then tell people where
Oh,
we
that's
Or in the
yeah. We
bathroom.
can't do that. No.
are. Yeah.
Can't
No,
do
it's
that.
not.
My
Don't do that,
backpack.
and it's
Can't do
okay.
that.
You can hang and have fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair
Don't film
enough.
us at the bar or in the bathroom, and
People
we fine.
will show up at the bar.
Just saying, I'm just throwing it out there, man. Advice to live by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what situation you're referring to. So
Nah,
Yeah,
just,
no.
just general advice.
You know, just-
general advice.
You know, it would be fucking common knowledge, but you know.
common sense. I mean, that's what that sounds like.
Yep.
Okay, to transition, I will say this though. I feel like people who are in the NoPix community, everyone seems super tight with each other. Everyone seems like at this convention, everyone's gonna be like, oh hey, like I know you.
Yeah.
And I felt like with RP, everyone's so close, and I've just never really seen that in a lot of communities that I've been in.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for this convention.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Be really, really good.
It's like it I don't know, whenever I got to like meet up with everybody, it's like just I don't know, it's like meeting up with, you know, friends like that you've known forever. It's like it's
Yeah.
not even I don't know, it's a really good time. So recently there was I don't know what event it was, but I saw it all over Twitter and people had conflicting opinions about it. But they gave streamers a badge that listed like their like top viewer count at some point.
Yeah.
And people had varying opinions on it. Some people were, you know, super cool about it. Some people said that it could, you know, breed like, you know, kind of like leechy stuff. I'm just curious what, you know, you guys had seen about it, because like I saw this one guy, he had like a
what?
30K
Wait, that's
So-
gonna be this
Explain
year?
that again? I
Yeah.
don't get
So
it.
basically, for the partner jacket, you're going to get a badge that has your maximum ever obtained view count, your highest view count, and they have it in increments of like thousands. So someone shared a picture of a badge it was just a purple badge with the little like head icon, and it literally just said 5K.
Yeah.
And
What
that's a
is the
badge.
benefit of this to them?
Just so you know, who's got the big old fucking streamer dick. So
Hey, you're looking in the right
That's
place.
fucking toxic,
if
dude.
you're
It's-
beneath.
No. People
Right.
got way too mad about that. I laughed at that. When I first saw it, I thought it was cute because if you have different badges on the jacket, like that's kind of cute. You can collect
Right.
them with things you've achieved with your stream.
Right.
What
And
kind of
then-
jacket is it?
I mean, yeah.
I
It's
haven't actually seen the
No.
jacket. I think I've literally only just seen stuff about the badges.
yeah. People got weirdly
They did,
upset
yeah.
over
People
it.
got- yeah. I thought it was kind of
kinda-
icky,
it's
but I
kinda
wasn't
weird.
super opinionated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
thought it was
it's-
kind of icky, but I wasn't particularly opinionated.
I mean,
the
I
only
don't
people
think
are
I
gonna-
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry,
I'm
go
trying to go on.
No, go
Hey,
ahead.
you go.
Nope, I'm not going to. Go.
I was just okay. So I was gonna say the only people that are really gonna look bad with those are the kind of people that walk around going, "Look at my 5K badge."
I won't
Just
be
kind of-
doing that.
You,
Yeah.
you'd be
You walk around the
first
fucking bar.
You did-
You walk around that stupid bar going, "I'm a Twitch partner. I'm
And
a
he's just
fucking
fucking,
Twitch partner."
he's like putting his
Oh
shoulder
my
forward.
God.
Look at the 20K.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Why can I see that?
It's like when people got mad about, like if you had a streamer badge in chat or something that marked that you were a streamer or verified or
yeah.
something, you know, like it didn't really
Yeah.
mean anything unless you made it mean something.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Because some people were saying like, you know, it could like for like on one end it was like, you know, something to be proud of, something you can display and be like, hey, you know, this is a thing that's happened, like different achievements, whether it be the view count or whatever else they, you know, you put on the jacket. And then on the other end, you know, it breeds like, say if you go to events and people will just kind of be like, you know, be on the lookout for like, you know, who's got what badge, how many for this, and you know, kind of
I mean, it wouldn't
stick
work
around
anyways.
those people. Yeah, again,
Someone
it's,
came
it's,
up
it's
to
what
me and they
people
were like,
make
I like
of.
your badge. I'd be like, who the fuck are you? What the fuck?
Well, that wouldn't be a big deal. But if someone came up to me and they're like, "Hey, sick 20K, bro, can you throw me a host when you get home?" I'd just be like, "What?
Get away from me."
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so
Great.
I guess, you know, it would be what you make it rather than, because I know Kyle, he's gonna get his fucking 20-30K badge. He's gonna flash that shit around. He's like, I
have to
can't
be
wait for that.
drunk first.
I feel like people wouldn't even look at it. Like, I'm not going to look at someone's jacket and then look at their badge and then be like, hey, oh, ooh, nice badge, bruh.
Are you single?
You know, like,
That
I'm going to be
fucking
looking at their
30K
face
over there,
and having a conversation with
you
them.
know?
Yeah. Also, from what I'm
Also,
aware,
I have
I think it was
15K. Thank you.
I think it was like a one-time like thing that they were doing too. I don't think it's going to be like a thing that they're
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was for some other reason and they just decided to give them away or something because they just had them sitting there.
Yeah.
So is this something they're doing or is this something that they did? That's the
I think
part
it's-
I missed.
It was for something else. I don't know what it was, but they ended up not going through with that plan, I think. So they just decided to hand the jackets out since they were already made. And
Yeah.
so it's not even something they're going to upkeep with, but
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know. I'm still going to be mad on Twitter.
Reminds me of those sports teams
Yeah.
jackets, you know, like says your name on the back and stuff, or like graduated in 2019. So it reminds me.
Wait, don't people do that in their bios too all the time? They're like, hey, like 100,000
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
subscribers. And, you know, I felt like that was something that people always did.
Yeah.
more so
Or
as,
like
an accomplishment
timestamps
thing.
and when they get them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were comparing it to like the YouTube plaques that you get. So it's like people don't view the YouTube plaque as like a flex or anything, right? It's like an achievement. So the badges could have been seen that way as well. I think it would have been
Yeah.
fun, like if they had funny badges, like, this is how many times you've had the lull chat, you know, emote read in your chat or something. Like
that's
it
a
could have been
good
cute
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, that's a good
But-
one.
I don't think they're going to follow up with it.
Or like if it was like your most spammed emote and it was like
Yeah.
jacket
That's a
or
nice
something.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be complicated. Can you imagine all the badges that they'd have to have, like different type of badges they'd have to have
Yeah.
made if they did that? Be like expensive and hard to.
Yeah.
He's gonna help me start farming emotes right now. Anyway, okay, let's see. Let me move on to this
I
next
kinda
bit.
did wish that they would give out plaques for like you know how like YouTube you guys were saying that they give out the 100K ones and then they give out
Yeah.
the million ones. Like that'd be kind of a cool thing to just like have on your desk, I think.
Yeah, that'd
That
be.
would be cool.
A certificate or a fridge magnet. Come on, Twitch.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
take a
man,
fridge
man.
magnet.
Yeah.
Nice little certificate. You know.
I'd print that out.
I'd
Yeah.
have my camera just focused on it in the background.
Yeah, hell yeah. Sarah never been on the podcast? I'm sure we'll get Sarah on at some point. Okay. So I know I did a podcast before E3, and like obviously watching a little bit during. Is there anything that has came out or been announced at E3 that you guys are particularly interested in? Oh, that's going great. It's going good. Okay.
I like
great.
horror games. Blair Witch is gonna be cool. I love horror games. Like
Yeah.
horror games are the shit. Like they're just so hard to like make like good horror games though.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
trying to
want
think.
Silent Hills.
Well, because Cyberpunk's already a release
Right.
game. That's not a new one. So,
Yeah.
I think there was one like Ghostwire or something looks really good.
Oh,
yeah, it does
yeah.
look cool.
And then there's one that looks like a space Fallout kind of game. I forget what that was called.
Yeah, I know what
Outer
you're talking
Space,
about.
Outer World, or something.
Outer
Yeah,
that
World.
looks really
Yeah.
interesting too. Yeah, that comes
Yeah.
out in October, I believe.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd seen it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there weren't like I didn't actually get to watch a lot of the announcements, but there was like a couple new games I hadn't heard of that look interesting. But mostly, I'm still excited for Cyber and Last of Us too.
Yeah.
There's the
Oh.
only two games that I really have on
Yes.
my mind.
Oh, I
What
need
about
Last of Us
Pokemon,
2.
dude? Are we gonna catch them all?
Oh man.
Which one's that? Which game?
Sword and Shield. That's the one that they just announced, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I'm
want
interested
a
in
new
that.
Pokemon game, but I want an adult version Pokemon game.
MMO.
Well,
Yeah.
survivable with base building, crafting, and PvP.
Oh my fucking! You're
Yeah.
so,
Adult
oh my
version?
God.
Like the Detective Pikachu movie was kind of cute. You know, they could go in a direction like that with their games, I think, for us old people, you know.
Yeah.
Who cares about the kids?
What's that lol W arc? All right, fuck. I think so. A lot of people are getting pissed at me because I had no idea what Elden Ring, was. But people.
The
are saying,
fuck is Elden Ring?
I know, right? I don't know now.
FromSoft and George R.R. Martin, dude.
Yeah. So pretty much, it's like an evolution. They described it as an evolution of Dark Souls, and they're working with George R.R. Martin. And it's from the same people
Prepare to
who made
see
Dark
a lot
Souls.
of dicks,
so-
dude.
Yep, I'm gonna be
shit.
a lot
Hey,
of pennies.
caught my
Be a
interest now.
lot of dicks.
I now want to play this game.
Yeah.
Samesies.
White. Okay.
A ton of people are on about Animal Crossing. I never played the first one. I don't have any interest in Animal Crossing. Sorry, Chad.
It's like a cute
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
game.
Animal
I'd probably
Crossing.
play it for like an hour and then get bored and
Yeah.
play a different game.
I'm gonna be a full-time Animal Crossing streamer.
Oh yeah,
Animal
wonder if we
Crossing
can RP it.
roleplay.
yeah. All I want to play right now is
Ashlynn, can you please shove your kitty face up my?
What?
What the fuck?
Did
I
I
just
just
find
find
out?
out?
Not now.
Wait a
Not-
second.
Not,
Not
on this-
now.
Did I just?
Not now.
Oh, that
Jesus.
reminds me.
Anyways,
Fucking Fallout announced PR, dude. I cannot
No
believe that.
God,
I cannot
man.
believe
What
that
the
shit,
fuck?
They're
dude.
like 2 years too late. Like, nobody gives a fuck
Oh,
about
God.
BRs anymore.
I was gonna ask,
Well,
are you guys into BRs?
No,
That's
Oh,
very
no.
interesting.
Let
PUBG
that-
was really good, but
Yeah.
It's not even.
Yeah.
It's not even necessarily that it's the BR thing. It's that it's fucking Fallout. Like they didn't
Right?
fuck up their game enough.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Oh my god.
Actually, a lot of streamers or BR streamers I know played it and really enjoyed it.
I've actually
Yeah.
heard that as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's the mechanics though are clunky though. Of Fallout, like it's just not like a. It just doesn't feel like a good game. Like there's not a lot you can do
Yeah.
other than go forward, left and right and back. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it would be like PUBG. That's what I'm looking at it. When I saw someone playing it, it looked like kind of like PUBG. It's probably gonna be pretty technical, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I never really got into fucking VR games. Like PUBG was a fucking running simulator, and again, I related it back to like DayZ and games like that, where I'd land, I'd either die immediately or there would nobody be around. I'd loot for however long, for like I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and then I'd go running for 20 minutes in the middle of an open field or like through a forest or through some fucking town, and then I get sniped by some asshole who's 10 years in the past from Uganda, and then the game is over. It's one shot, and I'm just like, oh good, bro. I just spent 30 minutes running.
Dude, I'm just gonna be honest with you. You need to just get good.
Fuck off.
True.
Fuck off.
A lot of people, enjoy survival games, and honestly, it just feels like you're terrible at them. If you keep dying that much, stop running out in the open.
Running along the main road, big mistake, Zig.
I know that. You run fuck off. Anyway.
I can see him running on the main road too.
I loved DayZ. We used to be like camped out in this little place and just hijack people off the road and make them fight each other to the death with whatever weapons. It was the best thing ever. And then we'd kill the winner anyway.
You might not know, but your boy Milton was actually in PUBG Championship round. Ooh. No shit. It was one of those like Twitch sponsored massive fucking things where there's 124 fucking computers all linked up in LAN, and they have cameras, and WTF Moses was announcing it and shit like that. And the prize pool was $300,000, and your boy Milton won a t-shirt. Out of 64 teams, I came in 59th. So
give me that t-shirt, buddy.
It was not
Shroud one, didn't he?
Yeah, I've done a lot of Twitch rivals with them in PUBG, and I have definitely bushed my way to some money.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. There you go. Bush trap.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys know, like I came from like shooter games. This is my first like online multiplayer game where I'm not trying. Well, I do try and kill people sometimes, but in general, not trying to kill people.
Right.
It's definitely the most fun I've had streaming in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, roleplay it's so like anytime I try and play other games, it's just like I don't know. Like if I try and play a shooter right now, it's like I'm okay. Like I'm not terrible. But after a while, it's like draining, and it becomes like an effort to be decent at the game for fucking 6, 8, 12 hours, and it's just like it just fucking drains your head. But on RP, you can just kind of like you're just you're running around, kind of like laughing, joking stuff off, getting into the situations. I mean, everybody has their days where it gets aggravating and like overwhelming, but I don't know. Roleplay's like this whole different thing where it's like. The idea is just to, have fun, be funny, and entertaining, and then you're good, you're set. You don't have to.
I'm like super aggressive and super competitive. So even just like playing a little bit of like a shooter game, I'll get sucked right back into it.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, RP's like a different type of like creative muscle you gotta use.
Yeah. Dude,
I'm laughing more instead of raging.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always good.
RP is a good time. I enjoy it the most out of anything.
I don't know.
Yeah, it only really becomes problematic when people, and it has happened, when people start to develop a play to win attitude in RP, that's when problems start to arise. It doesn't happen super often.
RP isn't about winning?
Playing to win in role.
Yeah.
I thought,
No one does
what? That has never happened. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like people get like really, really, really into like completing a bank robbery, and will get really fucking pissed if they don't, or someone will be trying really hard to insert criminal's name here, and if they don't, they get really fucking mad when they don't. It does happen, and that's honestly, I mean, I think we can say with pretty with some degree of certainty that was part of the downfall of GTA the first time it got hyped.
Yes.
Was
absolutely.
People developing a fucking play to win mentality.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
I don't know what you're talking about. I always win. I've never been arrested.
I win every game I play. I win every game I
every
play
game
because
I
I
play.
either win or I quit because it's not fair.
Exactly.
That's it. I don't
Have you
lose.
seen me play Magic? I concede 80% of the games in the first 5 seconds.
Oh man. Oh yeah. So I've talked to Milton and Snow here about like games that they've played like competitively, and Ava, you mentioned you've been in a couple of tournaments. I mean, is there a game that you ever thought you'd like join, like, or you're a part of a team, aren't you? Gen G, right, Ava?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm with them as a streamer, but
Right.
back in my younger years, I did dabble in competing in Call of Duty, and then I gave up after
Wait,
2
which
events
Call of
because
Duty?
I lost interest.
Yeah. Okay.
Which one did you compete?
It was like near the end of Black Ops 2 into Ghosts, was it? Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
It was when I was part of Team Caliber. But
nice.
I liked the freedom of streaming whenever I wanted
Yeah.
and whatever I wanted. And if you want to go competitive, you have to play,
Yeah.
that game for so many hours a day with your team, and I just couldn't do it.
Right.
I had to do 6 hours of different like matches and stuff on Counter-Strike Source when I was doing all that stuff. It's like a second fucking job. Like, well, actually, I was
Yeah,
at school
it
when I was
is.
doing it.
I
I
mean,
get
it
home from
is.
school, play 6 hours of practice, and then probably do matches, like 3 or 4 matches after that. It was
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like any other sport, you have to practice for it.
Yeah.
And
You guys
if
have to do that
don't,
every
then you
day?
suck. Yeah.
yeah,
You just like grind it out.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Good news is for me, I suck no matter what.
I mean, unless you're Strad. I mean,
No,
Strad
you're
is one of those
great.
kind of guys who's just naturally good at any shooter.
Well,
I
he's
don't
been
think I've
doing
ever
it since
seen
he
him
was like
struggle.
fucking, since he was like very young. He's been doing this shit forever. I think at this point, it's just kind of wired into his fucking brain.
Yeah, he's some of the stuff he pulls off, and like especially PUBG and other games, is just
Yeah.
not human. I don't know how he does.
Yeah. Ashlynn, have you ever thought that you were so good at a video game that you'd play it competitively?
Nope.
Siege, definitely.
Nope. Never.
Siege?
I always I have my moments
Right.
in like a lot of shooters where I'll do good for a tiny bit. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm good at this. And then as soon as I think that, I just go on the decline and it's like, okay, never mind.
Oof, I
Like,
know that
reality hits me
feeling.
every time.
Yeah.
It's not
And
that
then
you're on the
also-
decline, it's that everyone got better.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well, no, honestly,
No,
that's not
no,
even
like,
that far off.
no,
Like, yeah,
like-
the first few weeks that Apex was out,
Just get better.
I have clips on my channel of getting like full squad wipes by myself with one hand while I'm talking
you
to Aaron,
save
like with my
those.
headphones off. Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, I am a god at this game.
Yes.
And then the next game, I get killed for an hour straight, and I don't even see an enemy. And I'm like, well, the skill cap has gone up. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a slight against you, Ashlynn. That's just
I know, I
happened to
know,
me
I know.
Every
Yeah.
game I've played.
Yeah.
And then it's also to like, I don't have the attention span to ever just grind out a game for hours and hours and hours. Like eventually I'll be like, I need to do something else. I need it. Or like if I'm streaming it, chat will be super distracting. I just can't focus. I'm known for always kind of being like, oh, shiny. And then moving on to the next thing.
It's
That
like with
sounds like
Fortnite.
you.
I used to think I was so good at Fortnite, and
You are. You're
now
really good at it.
Thank you. I love you.
Yeah. Also, Siege is one of those things where you get super rusty if you don't play.
Yeah, Siege is
consistently.
hard for sure.
Yeah.
I actually got into Siege because of Ashlynn too. She also
Yeah.
got me interested in
I'm
that
just
game as well.
bringing you all
And then-
these
yeah, I
games.
know, and I got so addicted. But it's such a fun game. It's definitely one of the best multiplayer shooters. But if you don't
Yes.
keep up with it,
Yes.
yeah, fuck yourself, because the maps and all the peaks and where do you look and where do you hide and where do you
Yeah.
God.
And that's what I was telling you guys as to why I got into RP, because I was like, I wanted something that I could end stream and I just had the entire stream was just me laughing at myself
Yeah.
and just having a good time and having that, kind of improv muscle get stronger. And it was just like a new experience. And I was like, wow, I really like this. Oh my God, what is this?
Yeah.
And then I met you fucks.
All
Whoa.
right.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow. D. Cole,
I had to say it.
man.
I had
What
to
the
say it. All right.
Wow.
And I've been super happy ever since. Okay. I was gonna play that down.
Oh, gross.
Except Ziggy, when he
Fuck
arrested me,
off!
but no biggie.
All right.
Wait, Ziggy arrested you?
He did
Oh,
for
that's
1
right,
month. That
yeah.
asshole.
Brenda went to
It
jail
was
last
great.
night.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
great.
Oh,
felon.
wait,
Wait,
am
what
I
did you
allowed
do?
to know
A
this story? Or
felon.
is it
Really?
meta?
It's
It doesn't matter.
she was just
I wanna know.
she
I
ran
wanna
over,
know what
she ran
happened.
over a cop. She ran over Clarence with her giant
Oh
fucking
my
truck.
god.
Yep.
Toxic
Yeah.
Brendan in it.
Yeah.
I was
Murderer.
gonna say
Yeah.
it was with a big truck too.
It was
Make sure you get the
it was a
biggest truck in
sand
the
king.
game.
It was a big pink, hot pink sand king, and she just fucking plowed into this dude 40 to 50 miles an hour straight through
Hey,
a red
I'm the
light.
best driver in the entire server. What are
You're
you
probably
talking
the
about?
worst driver.
Have you driven it, Ziggy? Because you get in that thing and you want to run stuff over. She let me
I
drive
know.
it, and
I did on the
Trust.
test server.
Yeah.
When we were first doing it, I just ran
Yeah.
over everybody. I
yeah,
was
I'm like, well, this is what it's like to have power.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Speaking of that, if it 55 slots out today, it's been fucking chaotic.
Has it?
It's been pretty busy this morning.
It runs good.
I mean, yes and no.
Does it run good?
It's-
I've been getting really bad frames, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just
yeah.
me, but the frames
I
have
haven't.
not.
My frames have been solid.
Mine
I haven't
have
been able to get on it
like
yet.
40 to 30 when I usually get like 60 to 75.
Yeah, I'm getting
Yeah.
40 to 50.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But
I
like
don't know.
they'll work out what's going on and they'll
Yeah.
smooth it out. So
Yeah.
That VoIP quality though.
Is
it's
woo.
amazing.
Yeah.
The only
Oof.
problem is the
Yeah.
PD radios. They're really not working.
It's-
So
Oh shit.
Yeah, we
cops
all
are in Discord right now.
yeah, we all left not left, but rather don't use the Toco VoIP radio, but use Discord because it's so scuffed.
I tried to figure it out last night, like drunk. I had
Oh,
no
goodness.
idea what was going on.
It's-
I'm like,
it's
can you
hard to
speak
figure
what
out
is that? Is
sober.
that even a thing?
It's difficult
Yeah.
to figure out
No
sober. So, yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
It was the worst. I couldn't figure it out. And then I think I did get in, but then I didn't know how to even like put on push to talk or whatever.
Oh god.
I'm just glad they've
Oh.
got 55 slots, man.
Yes.
It's so
Oh,
good.
feels
It's
good.
so
Yeah.
fucking. Everything else will get worked out. All the little kinks and all the weird stuff will get fixed, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be amazing. Having more people around opens up so many more opportunities for roleplay all across EU, NA, and
I
AU.
can't
It's
wait to
gonna
be a corrupt cop. I'm just
Wait.
anyway, what? Anyway,
Oh my god, dude!
But no,
honestly, corrupt cop roleplay is cringe as fuck. I'm just gonna put it out there. it really is. Like, and if
Yeah.
you allow corruption, literally every single cop is corrupt, and it's
well,
cringe.
I don't know. Like if it's super like well done out, like say if like they get like blackmailed for like I don't know some gang shit, then I think it could be interesting. But if you're just like, oh, I'm gonna let my friend off, I mean, you know, like just let him off charges or you know hand him a gun or something like that. That's kind of you know.
Are they changing the server?
I don't know. I doubt they are, but I was just kind of memeing.
Okay, I really hope they don't, because honestly, I cops need to be good.
Yeah.
I think I don't think cops should be corrupt.
Yeah.
That should be the one part of the server that's not corrupt. I mean, look at like you allow EMS to be corrupt,
That's
everybody's
true.
corrupt. You
Yeah.
allow police to be corrupt, everybody's corrupt. I guarantee you, dude. If you allow it through all factions, everyone's corrupt. And
I
then
was the only
I'm
lawyer
not
that
criminal.
wasn't corrupt, and I was the only one that was fucking suspended.
oh, what on Rory? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
weird.
Oh man, fucking A.
Karen's not corrupt yet.
You're a fucking psychopath.
Just
What do you
morally
mean?
corrupt
No.
I saw her
and
hatchet
sexually
people.
corrupt. She's
Oh.
a fucking
you?
freak.
What?
She's a
You
fucking
see
pervert.
that coming
Yeah, you
from
heard me.
Kiki?
Oh, you heard me.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Oh, yeah,
that's a
I've
fucking
seen you
bold
try and give
statement there.
blowjobs to the cops.
Yuki is an
Whoa.
angel. She is
Nice.
without blemish.
Alright.
How fucking dare you?
Yeah.
How
She's
dare
without
you?
blemish.
Dude, you said
How dare
something about Kiki's vagina and how it would stick to a wall if I was to throw it or some shit like that. Like it would
no,
suction
Kiki's
to a
all
vagina
wall.
I
is Brenda's
said-
face right now.
All I said,
I saw
all
your
I
stream.
said was that I've been practicing my Kegels and that
Oh.
I have strong enough pelvic
Oh,
floor
God.
muscles that I could suction cup myself to the wall. Like an octopus.
Where do you come up with that?
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's kind of troubling. I think I should talk to somebody about it.
I think you should.
It's bad.
Yeah,
Nah,
there's
dude, just roll with it, dude. Fuck
there's
it.
someone I want to RP. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but Legion. He is one of the funniest people I know, and I feel like him and Milton together would be hilarious because the shit you say is also the shit he says, and just hearing you two go at it would be like watching two aliens conversate. It would be hilarious. So I've been trying to convince him to join. Yeah, chat. Yeah, Jordan. Oh God, he has characters that he does already, just like on Twitter. And so to see him actually RP them in the server would be great.
Oh man, that'd be fucking.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. All right. So at this point, I'm gonna pick out of. I've asked some questions. I had some viewers submit questions, and I've been going through them. Let's see. Someone has asked, "Do you think that AI will eventually take over the world?"
Oh God, that's my worst fear.
Dude, it's
Fuck yeah.
if it's okay, I'll start off by saying that I genuinely think it is one of the actually most legitimate causes for concern facing humanity right now. I read this really long like academic style article about it, because the thing that a lot of people don't realize is what they think is going to happen with AI is that they imagine it like right now, you know, the state of AI as it exists, it's sort of like it has the intelligence of an ant. Like it's very, very reactionary. It's very dependent on its environment, and it's honestly pretty fucking dumb. And that they think that in like 10 years, maybe it'll be as smart as a termite. And then 10 years after that, maybe it'll be as smart as like a mouse. And then 10 years after that, maybe it'll be as smart as a badger or whatever. When in reality, all AI needs to do is reach the point where it's able to obtain information on its own, and then it will enter an exponential growth towards further intelligence.
Yeah.
It will skyrocket so far beyond human comprehension of IQ that we will be no match. And the thing that's worrisome about that is that does not arbitrarily mean that AI will be bad. It doesn't mean that it's going to turn into Terminator Salvation and that all robots are going to want to kill us. But the reality is, what you need to think of is, let's say that humans are 200 times smarter than an ant. Do you feel bad if you step on an ant and kill it?
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean,
fuck.
if your house was being compromised by an anthill, would you feel bad about spraying it with Raid?
No.
Probably not. Now, what you need to think of is, if AI is 1,000 times smarter than a human, is it really going to give a fuck if it needs to kill a human to protect itself?
Damn.
You know,
This is Detroit
that's
Become Human.
Yeah.
that's the spooky
deep conversation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
10
that's the
years
scary
from now, I'm
part.
gonna be getting choked to
It's-
death by my sex robot.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. It is literally noted as being like Stephen Hawking, before he died, one of his
that's
last
what
things that he announced was that humans shouldn't do it. He said, "Don't fucking do it. Once you open Pandora's box, you can't close it again." So he literally said, "Don't
he's never
fucking
been
do it."
really wrong about anything either, is he?
No,
Yeah.
not really.
His book was like the 5 ways we're gonna kill ourselves is like climate,
Mhm.
or superhumans are gonna take over, which is like all the rich people will just modify themselves and breed us out of existence. And then like AI, and there was like another one, I forget what it was.
Yep.
Jesus.
And all
Surely
of them
it's
are
gonna be
very
climate or an asteroid or something ridiculous like that.
climate. I think is the biggest
The
threat
dome
right
around
now.
the flat
Yeah.
Earth
Climate
will
is.
protect us
Yep,
from
I
the
can.
asteroid.
It's the most immediate threat.
Can verify. Climate, biggest issue. Source, getting my degree in it. Pretty bleak, pretty depressing.
And the
How bleak
straws.
are we talking there?
And
man?
the straws.
I'm gonna. I almost. It would take too long. There's like a 5-minute video that I'd get you to watch. It's from the TV show The Newsroom. It's actually really funny. It's got Tobey Maguire, the actor from Office, and he's an environmental scientist, and he goes onto this news channel, and they're like, "Oh, we have a specialist here from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. We'll have him talk about the state of climate change." They didn't talk to him at all before, and so he gets on this news show, and they're like, "Hey, so why don't you tell us about what's the state of the environment and climate change as it applies to humans?" And he says, someone has already been born on the planet Earth who will die due to catastrophic climate change. And they're like, what? And he's like, we've already modified the environment so much, and climate change is so bad that we are in big trouble. And he's like, well, you know what? My viewers are visual people, so can you put it into context? And he's like, it's as though you're sitting in a car with the exhaust running and the windows closed, and you've fallen unconscious, and that's it. And the guy's like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's it? How do we save ourselves? And he was like, by making all these great changes 20 years ago. And he was like, well, what happens if someone opens the garage? And he's like, you're already dead. And he's like, well, what's the environmental equivalent of opening the garage in time? And he says, shutting off the car 20 years ago. It's like, oh, he's like, and then the clip ends because he's like, well, you know, my audience is, these are Americans. They're starting their weekend. Like, let's give them something to be optimistic about. And he's like, well, you know what? That's the great thing, Will. Americans are naturally optimistic. And I believe that if we work hard and diligently and passionately and we consult our best experts, I still don't see any way we can survive. He's like, all right.
Wow.
Thanks so much.
Wow.
It's bad. It's bad. But what the angle that I come at it from is that I think whenever there is a need, humanity will come together to create the solution. So are we fucking over the planet? Absolutely. Are we driving literally hundreds of species to extinction, the likes of which we'll never see again on the planet? Absolutely. But as it applies to human health, the day we modify the environment so much that it actually threatens human survival, our ability for innovation is unrivaled. I think all the world's superpowers would come together. Fucking Jeff Bezos would bust out his credit card, and we'll come up with something. That's what I believe.
Yeah. It's just kind of sad when you think about it, of how many people are going to have to die for that to happen.
Yeah.
That's
millions
true.
and millions and millions
Oh,
and
yeah.
millions and it's
Because
gonna
we can grow food. We'll always be able to grow food because we have
Absolutely.
greenhouses. We have the technology for that. But the people that are going to have access to that food
Yep.
are not going to be us. It's
Yep.
going to be the rich people.
It was,
What
it was one of the
happens
most.
if it's the interstellar thing where everything just stops growing, you know? Like we're just left with okra or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be inside the wall of your bedroom behind your bookshelf. No, let me in.
Oh my god. Jesus. Fucking A. Okay. All right. Let me go down the list here. Chat, if you have questions, feel free to
You
shoot some
should
out.
be scared, chat. You should.
You should, yeah.
Don't be a pussy, chat. You're fine.
You'll be alright, boys.
For
You'll be
now.
all right. Oh, dog,
Just for
get
now.
off me. Sorry, my dog's all
We'll
over
be
my shit
dead.
right now.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the great news. None of us are going to suffer. We'll all be dead by the time
But
things
the
that really.
turtles.
Listen, dude, no one. Okay,
I
no
really
one
do
understands.
love turtles.
Yeah, no one understands the degree to which turtle dicks are being threatened. Okay, it is a
What?
fucking my entire master's degree is about turtle dicks. I'm telling you, it's a serious situation. More people need to care about the turtle dicks.
Tell me
please.
more. Tell me more.
I want to hear
Can't even be
this.
involved.
All right, so I'll give you the summary of what my master's research is about, and one of the other illustrations of how things are kind of fucking bleak. So the reality is that in my studies of ecology, etc., I learned that loggerhead sea turtles, and in fact most species of reptiles, have a life cycle called temperature-dependent sex determination. And what that means is when a turtle lays an egg in the sand, the turtle has non-heteromorphic chromosomal expression, meaning it doesn't have a gender. You can't dictate its gender. It's literally neither male nor female. What determines the gender of the egg is the temperature of the sand that it is laid in. Colder sand produces more males. Warmer sand produces more females.
I see. I see.
You know, the pivotal
You
temperature-
boys.
the pivotal
Wow.
temperature the pivotal temperature is 29.5 degrees Celsius. At that temperature, 50% of the offspring will be male, 50% of them will be female. This is an evolutionarily evolved strategy that's taken about 415 million years to develop. It's very sensitive. Turtles know exactly when to lay their eggs. But as you know, there's a little thing called climate change and global warming. And I have research to suggest that warmer sand is affecting loggerhead sea turtles to the extent that off the coast of Florida, some of my preliminary research suggests that all of the nesting populations of loggerhead sea turtles are 99.998% female, which means it's predicting the absolute catastrophic population crash of loggerhead sea turtles to the point that they'll go extinct, and virtually every other species of reptile eventually as well.
Jesus.
Can I just say something?
Kind of wish.
Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
So weird hearing Milton say that because I just think of Kiki talking, and I'm like, you just said like 5 minutes ago about how you're doing Kegels, and now you can suction cup yourself to the wall, and now you're talking about turtles.
That's what I'm telling you, we need to rescue that. There's not enough turtle peen to go around crushing all that sweet turtle puss. That's gonna be
to a lewd Canadian David Attenborough.
excellent.
Isn't like one of the biggest things for like climate change and global warming is like red meat consumption? Can y'all stop eating meat?
Well, it is pretty serious.
I don't have any faith in Americans, especially, to stop eating red meat.
Dude,
I agree.
Cattle farms are a big problem in the Amazon. That's why people are like, oh, deforestation, stop using fucking paper towels. No, that has nothing to do with it. They're not deforesting the Amazon for wood. They're deforesting it to make ranges for fucking McDonald's.
Jesus.
Like they to grow cattle beef. That's why they're deforesting the Amazon. It has nothing to do with needing wood. It has to do with needing pasture space for fucking beef cows.
God, you know so much about this.
I do, yeah. It's one of the other things that I'm super passionate with. Science.
I'm never gonna eat McDonald's again now.
I'm literally gonna order some McDonald's right now.
Oh, some chicken nuggets.
I was gonna say,
hungry.
I'm super passionate about it as I'm eating a Big Mac. I'm like, this is so sad.
Oh, it's awful.
That's why you're so passionate about it. You're like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of people are like, everyone's guilty of that to a degree. Everyone's like, oh, you know, climate change is awful, but how many of us are actually really doing anything to try and help?
I'm not.
We're very much, we have to see an immediate effect. Like right now, it's not affecting us. We're not, like it doesn't affect me. I don't leave my apartment. I don't see the effects of it. Now, if I were to see a fucking tsunami coming at my face, I might make some changes, but that's,
well, exactly. And that's the issue. It's funny that we're talking about this because this is the exact topic that I'm researching right now in my graduate program. And it's about how, for example, did you know that according to the EPA, there are 300 different eco labels used on products? Like this is dolphin safe, whatever the fuck that means. And there's literally zero governmental regulation into what is described as a green product. There's none. No one determines how a product is verified as being green. So of course people are gonna be like, well, people are like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know if this is environmentally safe or not. So they just don't care. So they just continue destroying the environment.
The thing at the moment in the UK is, has been for a while, is this organic? It costs more than normal products in supermarkets and whatever, and that's fine because you're paying for it being organic, I guess. It's just like the kind of, what bothers me, because I worked in retail, and like the kind of people that walk into a supermarket and say, I only want organic, are the kind of people you don't want to spend any fucking time with.
Yeah. And I hate those kind of people to begin with, because they're like, oh, I'd prefer to have, I'm not going to take I'm not going to take like Tylenol or something like that. I want something organic. And it's like, you know what? I have this really amazing medicine that I've made from the root of a willow tree. And it's called, what is it called? Masprin, Basprin. Oh yeah, aspirin. Like, what do you fucking mean organic?
The root of a willow tree.
Organic. Huh?
Give me my essential oils.
I'm convinced that the more pesticides, the better at this point. Out of all,
fucking lather them on, man. Fucking roll the dice. Let's go.
Hell yeah, spray me down.
I'm a firm believer that Hollywood will happen, and we'll just get a space station somehow, or we'll just be on another planet at some point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, at some point, we'll either have
another George Clooney movie about climate change. Can we get a sequel?
A sequel's everybody dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a credit screen. Dope.
I mean, honestly, I think it'll, like, I don't know, if we don't start like trying to fix shit here, I think and even now I think people are putting money into fucking getting on a rocket ship and fucking taking off elsewhere.
SpaceX, dude.
Yeah,
they're doing it. Or there's loads of other companies as well, independent companies that are doing that government funding, and they're surprisingly enough getting a lot further than NASA are, which is a shame, but it's kind of real.
Yeah.
Although some of them, I don't know. You heard about Mars One, right? That was the biggest one. They're gonna have that one-way trip to Mars.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a bullshit idea and they went bankrupt. It's just totally dissolved.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah,
'cause
non-existent
everybody
anymore.
could sign up. Do you remember you could like sign up and be like, I want to go to Mars.
Yeah.
Just remember, it's a one-way trip. You're never coming home. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So how
Dude,
many
the
people
more
signed up
people-
and said yes? That's what I want to know.
The more people that
thousands.
go to space, the better. It means I can just go to Florida and more turtle puss for me.
Oh, dude,
Way more turtle puss for me. Get fucked. Have fun in space, nerd.
I'll keep your turtle life company.
Damn.
Christ.
But what if we end up on somewhere like Pandora that's got unobtainium and
What do
weird
you
shit
mean?
like that?
Oh,
What a
okay.
name of a product for
Right?
a movie.
It's unobtainium.
Can we obtain it? No. It's
Never. James Cameron, fucking wicked, man. Yeah.
So,
Did you
imagine the
guys-
conundrum in the science talks. Can you obtain unobtainium?
Have you guys heard of post-Avatar depression syndrome?
What?
It is. I am not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
Milton.
Viewers out there, you guys can Google this right now. I'm not even kidding. It is like a medically researched phenomenon because
What?
they had a run of suicides after Avatar came out
What the
because
fuck?
because it was the first time in history that such an immersive world was created using 99.9% CGI. And people, after watching it, particularly in 3D and particularly in IMAX, became so attached to this world and felt so bad about what we were doing to our planet after they fucking watched it that there was a run of suicides. And legitimately, it got so bad that James Cameron opened up a forum on like avatar.com as a support group for these people, and it had to get closed down within like 11 hours because they had 100,000 users sign up, and they had to close down the website. And then they were
Jesus.
getting a run of suicides from people leaving notes that said, "I'm killing myself with
Oh
the
my
hopes of being
God.
reborn and on Pandora."
Oh my
Shit, that
God.
sounds like when I stopped watching
Fucking-
VR porn.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
Christ.
It's couldn't come to reality anymore, dude.
That is fucking.
Jesus fucking Christ, guys.
My God. All right. Fucking A.
I'll be right back. I gotta take a piss.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
fuck.
more you know.
No, yeah. I had never heard about that. I mean, I know
Yep.
people get like there's I've heard about like cult followings of
Wait,
movies.
VR
and-
porn?
But no, God. God damn it. Oh Christ.
Did you guys ever see that clip of that guy like watching VR porn and he was like humping the air?
Mm.
Wasn't
was
that
he
at
humping?
a
No.
convention or something?
What?
Yeah, it was like at a convention.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God.
Uh,
Fucking kill me, man.
That's like a next
Yep.
level hoverhand turbo
Oof.
virgin, you know?
Mm.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was like a crowd of people were just watching him go at it on this like
Oh,
sex
God.
blow-up doll or
Oh,
something.
I would
don't know.
watch. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
God, dude.
Yikes, man.
He's hover humping.
It
Oh
was
my
an
God.
anime expo. Is that what it was? Yeah.
It was like a pillow, or no? Was it a pillow? Maybe it
No,
was an
I think it
actual,
was like a sex doll.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
that was advanced.
I think it was like a
didn't see
blow-up
that
doll.
part.
Yeah. I think.
It's just like a pillow.
Oh my God.
I don't know. That's what I was wondering. I was like, did he forget where he was? Did he know he's in public, or they just don't care? Maybe they just didn't care.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it was so immersive. You know.
What would you say? Okay, in that same vein, what would you say is like, what's some? I mean, I know there's some things that you may not want to disclose, but what's like the most like just
Oh God.
off the top of your head the most embarrassing shit that you've done like publicly?
Where do I begin?
Okay.
Oh man.
On stream or just in public?
Just, I mean, I don't know, just whatever comes to mind, whatever is like.
I've
Go for it.
ran on a treadmill, pressed stop thinking it would stop,
Oh boy.
and I flew off the end, and everyone watched and laughed. That was pretty embarrassing.
Okay. All right.
What's
And
a
it hurt.
treadmill?
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I don't really do a lot of embarrassing things now because I don't leave my house anymore. But
Same.
when
I
I,
feel
was
that.
younger,
Yep.
I peed myself in a aisle at the arts and crafts store before. I one time had lice. and I was in a classroom of people, and for some reason I thought everyone was staring at me. And I walked to the door and I turned around and I told everyone, and I said, "I have lice!"
Oh,
And then I closed the door and I walked away.
Oh my
you were
god.
that. You were
That's
that
my
girl
fucking
for a sec.
nightmare.
You were that girl.
Yeah,
for a
no, because I
second.
thought everyone knew, and they were all looking at me, and then I realized that it's just in my head. So. But I don't really do things like that anymore. That was just last month. Anyways. But I don't know. I don't really go out and talk to people anymore. So
No.
I just talk to, you guys.
All right.
Yeah, I don't really do shit that is embarrassing, I guess.
I went to the bar the other day. That was pretty embarrassing.
Oof.
I mean, I've never peed on a bar.
That's
What?
I didn't. I went to a bar the other day, and I like fucking with people because I really don't care. And I told the bartender, my friends were like fucking around with me, and I was like, I screamed at the bartender how I'm a celebrity and stuff. I like doing that.
Oh my god, I'm embarrassed for you.
Con, dude, you were sat in
It
the bar
was,
going,
yeah.
I'm a fucking celebrity. I'm a fucking
funny,
Twitch bot.
Oh, celebrity.
That shit's so
celebrity.
funny, dude. Come on.
September is going to be
Like,
so
in a bar of
fun.
Twitch partners and affiliates. He was sat there saying, I'm a fucking celebrity.
No,
Everyone was stood
literally
there weird
everybody.
champing.
Yeah.
It was a massive weird champ fest.
Did you also scream out your sub count and your follower count
Yeah, there you
at
go.
the same time?
I'm like, nah, it's this year.
Ziggy, can I send you a picture to show on stream? Is directly related to my probably one of my most humiliating moments, because I actually don't get humiliated very easily. I just sort of embrace being a fucking idiot.
Right.
Yep.
But I've got a picture for it. So the story behind it
Oh,
is that the witch.
The vacuum.
Oh no. Probably worse. Probably worse, honestly.
Yeah.
So when I was a machine gunner, we would go out to the field for training exercises, and what you would generally do is you'd spend basically 2/3 of the time training, and then 1/3 of the time acting as enemy force for other units and stuff like that. Because it's one thing to just drive your fucking tank at a target, like a paper target, and like, oh my god, we engaged the enemy, he. But it doesn't really prepare you for actual combat or anything like that. You need the unpredictability of humans, because you're going to be fighting ostensibly humans or super robots, according to Stephen Hawking. So anyways, now that we're spending this 1/3 of the time as enemy force, I asked my warrant officer if I could modify my uniform somewhat, because it was just Canadians attacking other Canadians in Canadian uniforms, talking with a vaguely offensive Russian accent, and there was no immersion, and I'm all about the immersion, So I asked for permission to modify my uniform.
Wait, I think I've
bit.
seen this picture. Okay,
yeah, and I got the permission, and I wasn't aware that we were doing some cross training with BADIS, which is British soldiers, and they were approaching us in their armored vehicles. And so the way that radio calls work in the army is that everything, of course, is meant to be utilitarian. So let's say you're the for example, I was surprisingly a section commander as a private, and as a section commander for the as a private, my call sign was 11 Alpha, because I was from one platoon, I was from one section, and I was the one section leader. So my call sign was 11 Alpha. If you wanted to talk to like 3 platoon, 2 section, whatever, then you'd say like, 3-2 Bravo. If you get a radio call from 0, that means it is literally the commanding officer of the entire battalion of 1,400 soldiers. And I'm going to get this picture here.
Yeah.
Because we got a call from 0 to our entire area-wide radio network that said, whoever the fuck the idiot in the red bandana is, make him stop right now and get him the fuck off the field. And this was what I was doing with my machine gun. This was your boy Milton.
Oh my fucking god. Hold on.
I had no idea the CO was watching, and as well as about 300 British troops were watching your boy Milton dancing around in the
It's your
field.
boy.
Yeah, so
It's a mighty nice machine gun dick you got there.
thanks, man. That's the joke. The machine gun's my cock. It was fun.
I get it now.
It was funny at first, but I was not aware that my fucking CO and 300 foreign troops were watching. That was, yeah, that was probably one of the more humiliating moments for me.
Holy shit.
Locked and loaded.
Yep,
We
ready
just
to
started
fucking
charging them.
Fuck. All right, that's pretty
That's
good.
probably
Pretty
I
good.
probably
learned
mine.
so much about you today, Milton.
Yeah.
You know,
I
I'm an
don't
open
even know what
book.
to do with this information.
I'm an open.
All right, fair enough.
But with that, unfortunately, my lovelies, now I got to take off. I do have 2 major projects for my master's due tonight.
All good. All good. Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
were
take off and work on those.
we were about to wrap up anyhow. It's the 2-hour mark.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Crazy, right? You
They
feel
know
like
by so fast.
I know you could sit here and talk for hours. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I love you, Chat. I love you guys. You're my favorite.
Later,
You're
dude.
beautiful. Milton.
Except for
Love you,
Chat, you guys are
Milton.
toxic as fuck. Fucking
Yeah,
toxic,
yeah.
Chat. Fuck you,
Fuck
Chat.
you,
Fuck you,
Chat.
Chat.
Fuck you,
Fuck you,
I
Chat.
love you guys.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. All right. Ashlynn's farming heart. All right. She's that's what it is. Anyhow. All right. Well, I appreciate you dudes coming on, hanging out, chilling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully we can have you guys back on. I'm trying to, get a steady rotation of people in and out here. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. First time I've scheduled and like brought people together for something like this. This is all very new to me. Kyle, you son of a bitch, I saw that. So
It was fun.
this is great. Yeah, it's a good time.
What made you want to do a podcast? Can I ask?
I don't know. It's just kind of, I like dog. I swear.
I was wondering who that was.
Yes, I have my dogs over. Anyway, but no, I kind of like the idea of bringing people together and chatting like outside of the game, because a lot of us, the only interaction that we have is like we get on the server, we hang out, laugh and whatnot. Obviously, some people they'll go and play other games and hang out and make their friends.
Viewers can see that we don't actually hate each other.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's
I guess that's a good way.
Yeah, and I think it's
You guys, I don't hate Ziggy outside of RP. All right.
Wait, what do you mean? Do you hate me in RP?
No,
Fuck!
I'm kidding.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that clip of Brenda screaming "I hate you" at me, not true.
But yeah, it's just I thought it'd be a good way to kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah, no, I think this is great. I think having people, especially when it's like your RP person, right? Well, you guys don't blame me, but your RP person is different than who you are outside of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting to see everyone hang out and talk. It's kind of like a pre-TwitchCon kind of conversation.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
It's
Very
it
nice.
should be fun. I'm excited.
I'm
and I
very
know
excited.
a lot of people are trying to plan like a get together, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to talk about that too much because just kind of keep that under wraps. But anyway,
I'll tell you when and where it is.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's gonna leak. You heard it first. Anyway, all right, dudes. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'll go ahead and wrap up. If you guys want to dip out, you can. You're beautiful, and I'll see a couple of you guys. Hopefully, maybe next week. But yeah, so I'll go and wrap it up. I'll be right back. Okay, all right, chat. Another real good fucking week of the podcast. Wide people happy. We did it. That was good. I was really. I love having these people from the server come on and play, these streamers. Hopefully we can get more people involved. I'd love to have Moon on at some point and chat with him about his RP stuff. So I don't know. Tweet at Moon. Tell him to come hang out. But yeah, so hopefully next week I'll get it more structured. I'll get a hold of people for hopefully I'm gonna try and make it within the this next week, not 2 weeks, because I know I had a bit of a funk where this past couple of weeks I was kind of out of it, and I was, you know, I ended up, you know, delaying it for 2 weeks, making it a bi-weekly. Maybe I'll make it weekly. Who knows? Who knows? But we'll figure it out. It is, you know, I'm trying to make it as least scuffed as possible. But we're doing what we